we are doing a stream right now for Introduction to Savage Worlds for Fantasy Grounds College. Um, I'm Playforth. My channel is Playforth for Twitch, but right now I'm helping these guys out. We're setting up the Savage Worlds class material for them. This is the first session we're going to be doing this, and we're going to be just kind of going through the basics. We've got a pre-prepared adventure. It's one of the ones from the back of the book, Blood in the Snow, and we're going to start from the very beginning with the characters and just play them through a short adventure, and we're going to go through all the basics. So please stick around with us, and we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off the game. Oh, and also, I'm going to try to control my language, but I apologize if any dirty words come out. So.
Do that.
All right, guys, we're into it. Okay, so today, first before we start, I would like to know everyone's experience level with Savage Worlds. So, uh, Alistar, what's your experience at all with Savage Worlds?
Zero experience. I've heard of it, heard good things about it. Not really much experience with. Don't know much about it. I just thought it would be. I've heard good things, so thought I'd
Okay.
try it out.
All right, cool. And George, what about you?
Zero. I don't know anything.
Zero.
I'm just gonna
That's
fly for the
great.
fence.
Clean slate. All right, and Genghis Tebow.
Played in 2 games, Rifts games to start me off, which was like a little ridiculous with some of the stuff that happened. And then
Riff's ridiculous.
Hellfrost.
No.
Of course not.
All
So
right.
I played 2 campaigns.
Cool. And Boffin, I believe you have a pretty dang good bit of experience with Savage Worlds, right?
I've played in a few games, just
Alright.
a few.
And Farid, what's your experience level with Savage Worlds?
I did a character creation once in Savage Worlds, and then I did one in Rifts with Bofferin, and that is literally it.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to start with is I want to say that you take away any. If you, I know Fantasy Grounds College itself is more geared towards 5e, at least in the time of filming this. And so take away any preconceived notions you might have about role-playing games if you've just had most of your experience with 5th edition. There are not concepts like classes. There are not concepts like that in the system. Even how you roll dice and difficulty checks, all the way down to how players can affect the game, meta mechanical wise, is different. There's some pretty significant changes. So I want you to kind of just step away, I guess, and put yourself out of the mindset of that and be open-minded to what you're about to play. Okay, so everyone has picked pre-generated characters, and you can go ahead and go and look at them and peruse them and stuff. And we're gonna start with just the basics of how you do things, and we're not gonna go much further than that when we first start. We're gonna talk about some basic terminology, so I don't trip up and confuse people, and then we're gonna move on into characters and start playing. Okay, so first thing is, Alistair, I want you to roll dice for me. Okay, so Heggy there. Actually, Heggy's already rolling dice there. So what you're doing there in that situation is you're making a trait roll. Okay, and you'll do that from your sheet. Anytime you doing a attack, or you need to make a like in D&D terms, it'd be called a skill check or a ability check.
Okay,
And
so
in this game, it would be called a trait roll.
that will be under skills.
Don't worry about that yet. I'm just
Okay.
talking about terminologies and how you play the game.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
worry about what the Fantasy Grounds rules does yet. We're just talking about the role playing game itself. And so trait rolls are essentially how you do practically anything. Okay.
Okay.
If it's we're trying to see how smart you are, then we're gonna roll smarts. If you need to roll a fighting check to hit an enemy, that's gonna be a fighting trait roll. You just roll it, okay? And in non-combat situations, pretty much any roll you're looking at just a 4 or higher. Okay, it's a game where if there's a difficulty imposed by the GM, it's going to be a penalty or a bonus. Like if it's easy, it's a bonus. If it's hard, it's a penalty. So you're just looking for a 4. Now the exception to that is combat, but we can get into that later. And then there's another couple things that are combat related, and I won't touch on them until we get to combat. But then you're going to see something on your sheets. If you want to look at it, you can. But you got this concept called beanies. And beanies are this thing that lets you re-roll stuff when you don't like how your roll went. Beanies are sometimes edges can also let you do things that are different with a beanie, but for the most part, beanies are used to re-roll, and it's just like a temporary token. If you're playing on a real board in real space, it would just be a real thing that you'd hold in your hand. You just pass it to the GM and say, "I'm spending my beanie to get out of this bad jam," and you can re-roll something. So, and that would be what you would spend. And I think that's the two big terminologies that you're going to see that are unfamiliar, is that trait rolls are different and beanies are different. And now you can look at your character sheets, if you will. And I'm going to pull up Rolf just to kind of follow along with you guys on the screen.
Hi, I'm Rolf.
And so if you look at your sheet, you're going to see a lot of terminologies that you're not going to get. Like, you're not going to understand at first. Like, when you first pop up the character sheet, you're going to see the skills tab. And this is got a few terminologies that might be a little surprising, but a lot of these are combat related, so we're not going to get into those until a combat. But you can essentially just look at these and say parry is how you not get hit, okay, in melee combat.
Okay.
Toughness is how tough you are, and your charisma is essentially it's a modifier that applies to social stuff. All right, and then you've got wounds and fatigue, and that's all that is that's the hit points of this system. Wounds is the hit points of the system. So the attributes and skills, those are what I was talking about, called traits. So when you roll a trait, it's going to always roll 2 dice. It's going to always roll a d6 wild dice and then your trait itself. Now the wild dice is something that wild cards all roll, and your characters are called wild cards. It means you're better than the riffraff. Most of the NPCs in the game aren't wild cards. They don't get to roll a wild dice. And the really cool part here is, and the reason why it's in the game, is that when you ace, when you roll the maximum roll on any dice, so if you roll a d8 and you roll an 8, you get to re-roll that and add the next number to it. And wild dice mean that your chances of what they call exploding or acing happens quite a bit for players. So it's a concept built in the game, and it's a concept you can exploit if you use beanies. And that's just something to know, that dice explode in this game in Ace. It's something people from like Shadowrun or World of Darkness understand. Other games that have that mechanic. I think that's Boffrin. Did I miss anything? Really core.
One thing that, if I could just ask with that, if I'm not mistaken, so if you ace and die, and it rolls that second die and it aces again, it keeps rolling over and over again.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That was what I was going to mention. Is basically it's an open-ended die roll.
Mm-hmm. I've seen them get into the 40s and 50s before. So
disgusting.
Yes.
Yep.
Mostly with flat numbers like d6s and stuff. So
gets ridiculous in Rifts.
The flatness of D6.
Yeah. So some of you are spellcasting characters, and you're going to see a tab on your sheet called Powers tab.
Yep.
You don't really have to get into that yet,
powers.
but essentially, power points are they're like spell points in D&D 5e variant.
Mhm.
Yeah, that much I did go over when I did my class.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Shanninator, I've been posting pictures as you've been going along
Very cool.
in the chat. The
Thank you very
introduction to Savage Fire.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Thank you very much. All right. So, and so everyone's got got their characters picked. I think there's one character not picked though yet. Who has not picked
Yeah, I
a
think
character?
Boffrin. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so Boffer
You must
cheese.
forgot. Buffer cheese. Buffer cheese.
All right, so okay, so we're gonna start the story in the village of Trondheim. Trondheim is right now in the story. It's winter. It's steeped in snow. The village itself, a cold bite in the air, intense winds at night that can keep probably even a drunk awake, and the village is sandwiched between two opposing like territories of other clans or tribes, but to the north there are mountains, imposing mountains like a wall, and to the south is the Great Sea, and just like Norse stories or Viking stories, Trondheim gets their wealth from pillaging and raiding and stuff like that. They have very little in the way of natural resources, and they hunt to survive, but most of the time it's raiding is how they get wealthy. And this is during the winter season, so not much of that is going on. And you guys are. I'm gonna begin with Uldred. Who is playing Uldred? Balfrin?
Yep.
Okay, so Balfrin, you sleep in a cottage or like a partial tent cottage like structure near the longhouse of Jarl Steinar, the leader of the village and the leader of the people there. And you awake at screams. You can't make out what they're saying at this moment, but you wake hearing screams in the distance through even the cold wind that's buffeting against the cottage. What do you do?
Oh my goodness. I look around and I'm like, huh? As I'm coming awake, and the screams are kind of echoing in. I'm just a little bit baffled. So I'll grab the furs off my cot type of thing I'm sleeping on, and kind of stick my head out to see what's going on real quick.
All right, so you stick your head out to sea, and the wind is picking up good. Most people have of course stayed in their homes, and everything on the streets is quiet. But the break in that quiet is coming from Jarl Steinar's. You can hear the scream coming from there. And at that moment, I'm actually going to say, did somebody have Alfred earlier and get rid of that character? Anyways, Gunnar, you awake as well to the screams, and you also hear them at this point in time, and you kind of stumble your way out of your kind of small cottage or whatever you have it, and you see Uldred John out in the doorway of his cabin, looking towards Jarl Steinar's, and you hear the screams as well coming from that direction.
Does my character know Uldred John? Are they familiar?
I'm assuming that all your characters know each other because it's just a village. It's not like a huge town or anything. So
You're like, Uldred, what the hell was that scream? It woke me up.
I don't know,
Damn. Hoodlum.
but something's happening. It looks like over at the Jarl.
Okay. What does it sound like? Female screams, male screams? Can you tell, or is it like animals?
Make a notice check.
Notice how. Let's see what.
That would be notice trait roll. Would be you take notice from your sheet. If you don't have notice, in the case of Gunnar, you don't have it. You'll just make an unskilled roll.
Okay, unskilled. Okay, so let me see. Let's see. Go.
All right. So Gunnar, you can't really tell. It's so faint to you. And but Uldred, you can clearly identify that it sounds like the squeal of one of the daughters of Jarl Steinar.
It sounds like the Jarl's daughter, and I'll poke my head back in and start throwing on some clothes and getting a little weaponry for myself in here.
Yeah, I'll do the same. Yeah, we better go check that out.
All right,
Okay.
so at that point we'll jump to we'll scene jump to when you guys are reaching the Jarl's place, and at this point you guys kind of look behind you when you're heading up to the steps, into the Jarl's Longhouse, you see that more people are coming out of their cottages and their homes and stuff like that to see what the heck is going on, because all of this is drawing the attention of pretty much the entire village. It's kind of a sharp break in the quietness of the night. And at this point, we can say Heggie, Hakon, and Rolf and all are aware of what's going on, aware of that there's something going on at the Jarl's Longhouse, no matter where they are.
Yeah.
So
So-
Hakon might be like on the edge.
Well,
of the village and
Hakon is actually running towards him because I am intensely loyal to the Jarl, and he's my old
Very
friend.
cool,
So
very cool.
it's like you see, like as soon as he hears these yells, you see his hands raise up and his sheets raise off of him. He pulls his hands like from the side, and his clothes come and appear over his body, and then he just runs out, and he's running towards the Jarl's place.
Very cool. And so that's what we see. We see Gunnar and Ulrich John just look back briefly towards the village when they're stepping into the longhouse, and that's when they see Hakon just right behind them. So we're going to move the scene on into Jarl Steinar's longhouse, and what you see is a scene where there's lots of onlookers like standing around, and they're clogging up the entranceway to the longhouse, and they look like mostly house servants and stuff, but the screaming is obvious at this point to anyone that enters now or will enter soon, that the screaming is Astrid, the youngest daughter of Jarl Steinar.
Why did you wake us up? Seriously.
And I'm sorry, I'm describing more of the scene. So the screaming is coming from her, and you see a bloodbath in the chambers where Jarl Steinar usually sleeps. There is his dead body and the remains of a scene that transpired here, and you know that Brynhilde, his elder daughter, is nowhere to be seen.
As soon as Hakon
And
sees this pool of
you
blood, he
s-
just drops to his knees.
Yeah, that's like his old friend, right? And
Yeah.
And you immediately think at that point, someone must have seen it. Someone must have seen something, right? And you look around the room at that moment, and you see that some of the house guards are speaking to. Let me check my notes here. Sorry. They're speaking to a man you know as Savin. He was one of the other house guards in the town. I'm sorry, in the village, and he particularly protects the Jarl's Longhouse. And so they're kind of in a corner of the room, and they're just speaking to him. And you've looked over and you've seen that this Sven guy is wounded, and he's just speaking over to them in the corner.
Okay, so Hakon, he's kind of sitting on the ground. He's on his knees. He's got his head in his hands, and he shakes his head and he tries to shake himself out of it. He thinks to himself, "No, I have to find out." And I turn around and I see if there's anybody that I recognize as an immediate friend, and I turn over to Heggie, and I say, "Heggie, we must find out what happened."
I don't even know if I'm there yet because I was going to
You
ask
can
out of
say you're
character.
there. Yeah, everybody in the town
Okay.
is
Well-
alerted. You
okay.
can say you're there if you want to.
I wanted to ask out of character how many clergy are in this church.
Hmm.
Because
I
we
mean,
would
there
probably
is-
arrive there at the same time. All of
There
us.
is Hertha, and there is yourself, and there are 2 or 3 other women around the same. I guess they don't really have ranks, but they're all also learning under Hertha. So you
Okay.
have competition for the position that you want.
So I have
Hertha's
3 or 4
position.
competition.
And Hertha
And
is
what do-
not here. Hertha's old, and she's probably.
Yeah.
You think she probably couldn't even make the trek in the cold.
No.
Guess we're stuck here until we find out what's ever going on here.
So what'd you say, Hakon?
I turned to you and I said we must find out what happened to our old friend.
We need to find out who the hell did this. Oh my! I'm just gonna throw something.
By Odin's eye!
Yeah,
It looks like a murder!
I was talking with him not 4 hours ago, and he was fine. And then I went home, and I hear screams.
Sven speaks up and he says, "I'm sorry, Hakon. I know he was your dear friend." And then you see all of you kind of turn your eyes toward it. And now I'll say all 5 of you are here at this point if you haven't already spoken up and addressed where you're at. And
I'm outside.
Sven turns towards you, Hakon, and looks, and you see that there's a sincere look in his eyes as he looks at you, and he says, "I'm sorry about the Jarl. I know you were close with him."
And with that, I grasp the innards of his arm. We do that, that brother handshake, and I shake his hand, and I say, "I know we will miss him dearly, and but we must, for the sake of the Jarl and friendship and family, we must avenge."
So Heggy looks over the scene and she wants to try to get some kind of knowledge of how this was done.
Yeah, that would be a notice roll. Why don't you make a notice trait roll for me? You would just do that by. Yep, there you go.
And Heggy, as he releases,
So Heggy, unfortunately, is got a critical failure there. So roll of 1 on any roll is a failure. Critical failure is a roll on both dice a 1. So it's very bad. And so, but you can spend bennies to re-roll things like this. It's up to you if it's important enough to you to re-roll it. But if not, we can let it lie.
She's stubborn enough, so yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I'm stubborn as well. But that's an encounter.
Okay, so Heggy, yes, for a moment there, she's glancing around the room and she realizes something's clouding her mind, and then she just kind of shakes herself loose and says, "I need to be focused on this." Yep. And she just kind of uses her notice and looks around the room, and she sees that she notices there's claw marks on the Earl's body, even through all the bloody mess, and she notices that Brynhild's bed was violently overturned, and there looks like, because there's fur always in like a Viking or a Nordic home, and so you have to keep warm, and those are all just kind of thrown everywhere. But another interesting thing is these definitely weren't looters. There are valuable things. All the valuable things that are normally here are still here. And as part of your search, you also kind of step towards a side door, and like you see that it's like half swung open. And you just look outside, and you can see the beginnings of footprints outside.
Are they humanoid?
And you're not really sure. They look like they could be humanoid. Yeah, for sure. They're definitely not animal prints. And when Sven sees you standing over there, he says, "I'm sorry, I didn't get a good look at whatever did this. I saw something just huge. It blotted out the moon when I looked towards it. It struck me over the head. It swung a club. That's about all I remember."
Well, from my investigations, it looks like that they tried to make it look like an animal attack.
And at this point, Heggy,
claw marks.
You see the feet, and you're looking at them and stuff and trying to get a better look at them, and Sven says, "Given the size and the clubs, I would think trolls."
That makes sense.
Damn
By
trolls.
Odin's eye?
Damn trolls. Kill them all.
No choice.
Let Odin sort them out.
Can I try and see where the tracks are going, or?
Sure. That would be a tracking skill.
Is there anybody else injured? Because Higgy would like to tend to the wounded too.
Sorry that.
There are 2 shield maidens that are that usually stay in the room with Brynhild, in the room where you find her overturned bed and stuff. There are 2 shield maidens that are there that have been slaughtered. And Rolf, your tracking roll. So you can tell that the tracks go north towards the sheer peaks. You know that trolls commonly come from those northern mountains.
Looks like we have to go to the sheer peaks, everyone. Apparently. I don't know how
And
I knew
out of
that.
character for 1 second, you said that
Dread.
his eldest daughter was missing.
Yes, Brynhild is the one where her bed was overturned and
Okay.
she seems to be missing. The youngest daughter is the one you heard shrieking when you first came
Yeah.
in. At this point, there's house servants consoling her in the corner.
So everybody was killed. There are no wounded.
Yeah, everybody who was in the room that was in the room where it was attacked is either killed or gone.
Okay.
Brynhild is gone.
Avenge anyone?
And you see Hakon's eyes just light with fire.
Okay, avenge.
Let's kill these friggin' trolls.
Maybe we should do it like try and not ascend ourselves to the trolls, kind of make sure we don't get noticed by them.
Screw that. We're going straight in, straight
Okay
attack,
then.
kill those bastards.
Okay.
Well, I am curious to find out why trolls have ventured so far into our village.
So am I, actually. So am I.
The more trolls, the better. More to kill.
In my long years, there hasn't been a troll attack in a very long time.
The one of the house guard members speaks up to you and says this is not good for the village.
Why isn't it good for the village, though?
He had no sons.
Oh. Avenge! I walk away. I walk.
Just avenge and then walk away. All right.
And Hakon, before he leaves, he turns to Sven and he says, "Please take care of the village while we're gone, and when we get back, we'll figure out who's gonna run. We'll find a way."
I'll keep an eye on things as best I can. And Uldred, John, and Gunnar, you can both make survival checks if you want for me.
Okay, let's see.
I keep saying
Bad.
checks. Even I can't get the D&D out of my language. Okay, so Gunnar, you've been around this. You've been on this world for a very long time. That's where your character gets his survival skill. You know, just his years of surviving combat after combat and in wilderness and horrible things. And part of that wilderness is you've seen lots of wilderness sunsets and clouds and stuff like that. And you can look out in the sky and you see that the snow and the winds and stuff are picking up worse, and a blizzard could be coming any time now. So essentially, you believe that whatever y'all need to do, you need to do fast.
We need to hurry up and do it. Yeah. We need to hurry up and find these damn trolls. It's going to snow. It's going to be a blizzard coming. We gotta get these bastards.
I'm sorry, what was that last word?
Oh, that's from Lobo. It's like a word, like a comic book character.
Bastards.
DC character. He says the words instead of bastards. He says bastards. I just said that because you wanted to kind of keep this PG-13, so I kind of.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I just didn't get that. I didn't know it was a word. So I was
Yeah, you
like, what?
look up Lobo. He says it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, bastards isn't that much of a bad swear word, so we should.
Okay, yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, that's
If
cool.
any of
So,
you guys want to know,
Damn trouble.
like who would take line in leadership and stuff like that,
Not
like
me.
if something happens or whatever, you can make a smarts roll to figure that out if you were interested in doing that.
I'm not very much of an interesting person that wants to know anything about that.
Peggy,
Oh, it'll be a
Hagen-
smart.
Akon, both of you guys have kind of, you've been around this block before. You've seen villages kind of go through this kind of turmoil before.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible gray area. It's a terrible gray area when there is no sons to claim the throne of their whatever you call it, their little small kingdom or fief or whatever you call it. It's a huge gray area. So it depends on whether the people will buy the leadership of someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, which is kind of what I figured. Which is why I turned to Sven and said that we'll figure this out when we get back.
All right. All right. So so what's next, guys? What are y'all thinking?
So
Remember,
I'm
you guys
gonna.
I'm still walking
you
away.
were
I'm still
woken in the
walking.
night, so all you
Yeah,
have
so-
on you is probably the weapons you gathered because you're the kind of people that prepare yourselves for
Mhm.
battle because you're Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
and that's about it. So that's why their character sheets don't have much. We're not wanting to have this kind of devolve into like let's all have like
Super weapons.
grocery store purchase time. But like, if you can think of anything specific you want or you need on the travel, now be think about it.
Haggie's looking for a
Apprentice.
shield. If she has a spear, Haggie is going to be looking for a shield. Because she has a spear and her leather armor, and she wants a shield.
Okay, let me look some here.
Maybe like torches if it gets nighttime.
Yep.
The spear that she has and the style of spear that she has is a two-handed spear. The kind of spear
Okay,
she
then
owns.
never mind.
And if you're wanting to know, spear is actually better at parrying, anyways, because
Mhm.
better at blocking attacks. It's not quite as good as the bigger shields, but it's as good as a small shield.
Alright, yeah, because it's got a +1 parry.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, then I'm good then. Haggie says, let's follow these tracks!
So
Alright,
for
I'll
the
follow this lead.
the powers and stuff like that, is there anything like do you need like materials, or is it all just voice and in motion and stuff?
The material, like what it takes to cast a spell, is based on the trappings and like if there's
Okay.
any established by the game we're playing. So like we're saying it's like a shamanic style for Hakon. So
Okay.
so it's like it's probably stuff like you might think of like a witch or something might have.
Sure.
But we can say that you have all the things that you need to use your spells, like essentially like a spell component pouch in D&D.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that at all. All right, what do you guys do?
Still walking.
The tracks.
I will, being still unaccustomed to the full and bitter winters, I'll go ahead and make sure I grab some winter gear for myself.
All right. Okay, so that's actually a good time for us to talk about. I don't know what experience you guys have with the libraries and modules in Fantasy Grounds, so I'm going to try to treat it like everybody's a noob.
Mhm.
You would just, if you never need any equipment or something like that, you can look in the gear under the SW Deluxe Player's Guide in the modules. And it's Chapter 2 gear. But in this case, I can put whatever gear you want on your characters and stuff too as well, like normal. But like winter clothing is a type of gear. You can also go to the items tab on the right hand side if you've got that tab opened on the right hand side. And you could do just like in D&D and just type, winter clothing or winter gear. Alright, so who was wanting to do the tracking?
I'll do it. Fine.
Hakon says that he's gonna stay near the back and kind of watch the rear.
Alright, so roll tracking for me, please. Yeah, you head out about an hour out into the wilderness, and the snow just becomes the snow just kind of becomes so
Dense.
just so
Don't
dense and like flurries everywhere and stuff like that. It makes it hard for you to follow, and then you just kind of you at this point you're not even sure if you're heading north anymore.
This is where Haggie
didn't-
pulls out
and
her
I want
shovel.
you guys to-
Didn't
all
we
make
walk
a-
past this tree before?
Yeah, why don't you guys all make a vigor roll for me at this point?
A vigor?
That's on your attributes.
vigor.
please.
Every time you say vigor, I keep thinking of the League of Legends character.
Okay, so everybody got over a 4. So that's the magic
Mhm.
number on rolls like this. if I don't say any
Magic
penalties.
number.
So you guys have all been out in the wilderness and for a while now, and you feel like it's very cold. You know, it's very much. If you feel like if you'd been out here much longer, you can definitely start feeling the effects of it. So I want you to, whoever's tracking again, I want you to make a tracking roll at a -4.
Okay.
Keep your eyes open, guys. We need to hurry. We can't let the
I'm
town
gonna
go to
pray
shambles
for
while we're gone. We have to hurry.
So it has to be at a
Which-
-4 if you want to do
which
it.
Norse deity was the one that controls weather? It would be Thor, right?
I think he was well, yeah.
Yeah,
So I would make a prayer to Thor for help.
What day is your answer? You said a -4 and I did it.
You are unbearded, and Thor does not respect you.
Nope. Thor smite you with his hammer.
All right.
so
okay,
Hakon.
so this is what happens. You get lost again after an extended period of time, and
Sorry, guys.
you guys are
So
I want you all to
Higgy's
make a
gonna
vigor
take
roll
over
first
lead.
off before we do anything else.
Higgy's gonna take
Oh,
control of the situation. Let
Yeah.
me lead and find this tracks. So I guess I make this an unskilled check.
All right.
And I get a 2.
Okay, you guys are on fire with the critical rolls and low rolls today. So
Yes, we are. We're rolling crap-a-loo.
we are got some action here now. So you guys are lost at this point, and Heggy has not helped matters, and it
Nope.
continues to get worse. It seems you can barely see your hand in front of your face, and you kind of get to this sort of clearing area, and then you're actually at a point to where you can look up and you could see the mountain line. Like you could see the mountain line through all of the wind flurries the snow flurries and stuff in the air and the heavy wind, but you also hear the snarling of wolves
Oh no!
surrounding you.
Nice wolves. Come on, let's be
And
friends.
we're going to do some combat here.
Oh damn!
Yay.
So
We're
some
all
combat
gonna
in Savage Worlds works a lot like combat in D&D and stuff. It has a turn structure. You take actions and things like that, and you just go down the list until everybody goes, and then you'll redo what they call it initiative, just like in D&D again. And everybody works that way, but
So Higgy's gonna say, Ragnarok is upon us! It's Fenris the Wolf!
And Hakon mutters to himself. He's like, "This is why you don't let anybody else go and follow. You lead. You lead." He tells himself he need to take.
I'm just like, well, let's kill some wolves.
all right. So I'm Balford. Can you help me out real quick? Did they move the share button off the combat tracker? There used to be a share
Not that I
button.
know of.
To share.
But you know what? Just in case, just everyone click on your combat tracker button. You know, your cross swords.
Does it come up when you do? Because they may have changed that in an
Yes,
update
it does.
recently.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what
I
it
see
is.
it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Combat tracker
wow,
there.
that's okay. Yeah, because just prior to that update, the GM had to share it, so that explains it. Okay. All right. So
Explains
at this
everything.
point, the way initiative works in Savage Worlds is each character is dealt cards from a deck of cards, like a standard like poker deck or something like that. Except it has the
Mhm.
Joker cards inside it, and there are certain edges and stuff that will maybe let you draw more cards than normal, or may let you turn in cards that are like below a certain number. There's ways you can fiddle with it with what's called edges, but overall, everyone just grabs a card, flips it, and then you go from the face value of the card to determine initiative. And initiative changes each round. And the table Savage Worlds can kind of be a little clunky with the cards being thrown out a lot, but it makes for amazingly kind of cinematic action because it can change consistently throughout a battle. So in this battle, Hakon is the most alert and can act before all these wolves start converging around you guys. And so I'm going to share out a map and put you guys out here.
Well, it kind of makes sense that Hegi is last because she's just furiously praying
You said it.
because she thinks Ragnarok's upon them.
Yeah.
I just think, oh,
To
okay.
Put some tokens
Kill.
out, and we're going to get some
Pull out my
action going.
great sword, and get ready.
I'm putting on my short sword and be like, yay! More! What is it good for? Nothing!
All right. And so, Hakon, you see that there are wolves both coming in on your left and right flanks. And you see that a total of 6 wolves have pressed themselves in around you guys. And I'm sharing this image now, so.
To everybody, and I just like I clearly know that they're coming towards us.
Yes. Let me see. There you go. Boom.
Yeah. So I at this point I'm not going to be quiet. I'm just going to yell wolves, and I'm going to tell everybody to you know, let's back together and let them come to us. And as I do that, I'm going to come into here. So I can move 4 squares, right? Is that what the 4 is there?
Yes, your pace is 4. You can spend your. So the way combat works is you've got. It doesn't have. You don't have all these like minor actions or standard actions versus move actions in other games. You just have actions and that's it. Moving isn't an action. Moving can be done by anyone on any turn. Moving is not an action. However, and you could do any number of basically actions. Okay, on each turn.
Yeah, no, that much I knew. So so is it the same thing as 5e where if I move through someone it's difficult terrain? No. Okay, so I'm gonna move to here, and then I'm gonna look at all of these wolves, and the 3 that are to the behind me. I'm gonna attack each one of them with a firebolt.
Oh, damn, you have that.
Nice.
Very cool.
It looks like he's rolling damage instead of his skill.
Yeah.
So what you'll do
I didn't. Oh, I sorry,
Fine,
my bad.
no
Let me
problem.
reverse that on all of them.
That's no problem. Don't worry about it. I can clear it. So what you'll do is you'll target them.
I
just
see
like
it. I
in
see
D&D.
it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll roll your on your powers tab. There's a.
I see it
There
there
you
now.
go.
Yep.
And you got a
damn.
raise.
You got a raise. You got a critical hit. A raise.
Wow, look at this raise. Holy cow!
Dear God, that is death.
I think that wolf is dead.
Fire. What can you do?
Nastiness.
Okay, so that will be my turn. How do I end my turn?
Yes. There should be a button at the bottom. It looks like the downward arrow, the end turn button, like in D&D 5e.
I don't see that on the
Oh,
combat
there is
it's
chart.
just the GM has it now. Okay. So, but like, okay, so something real quick. Balfred does when you're using attacks, multi-attacking with firebolt. Is it like auto fire with a machine gun, where you only fire 1 wild dice?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it is.
I think it is because you're going by the rate of fire that you have.
Yeah.
So it's not like a auto attack. It's just a rate of fire where you just use 1 wild die. But to be honest, some of those rolls were pretty legit. So
Yep.
Because it says 1. So bolt is a standard attack power and can be used for any gun raise burst energy. May cast up to 3 bolts by spending the like power of power points. So bolts may be
Alright,
spread among
so
targets
I'm going
as the
to look
character
over
chooses.
what you rolled, and I will see that it would hit all of them. It looks like.
Okay.
It looks like it.
Because the
looks like
first
it
one, the
would-
first one that I would have
like
attacked
amazing.
was an 11. That was my first attack. Was an 11.
Yeah, I see it there.
Yeah, they're all legit.
Yeah,
that's the thing is
basically.
you can't-
Yeah.
That's the thing is that it doesn't show the wild dice, so I don't know which one raised every time. But we're gonna let it
Would you
slide
like-
this time. Next time, if you don't mind, don't rush to start rolling skills and stuff until I kind of can walk people through it.
Sure, my
So-
bad. I'm all
No
like I'm
problem.
used to being a DM where I drag my dice instead of target things, so I'll start targeting things instead.
And the target is that's fine, but I just mean like let me pace y'all through how to play Savage World instead of assuming things like D&D. So
Okay.
all right,
no
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, so normally when you're multi-fire and attacking multiple foes, you only roll one wild dice, and you roll your skill die 3 times.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it keeps wizards and stuff from being OP. Well, they're obviously pretty fucking badass already. Well,
Or
there's
even in
my-
modern
there's my
setting.
R. There's my rated R. Right.
So the skill dice, that's the one to the left of it, right?
Yes, that'll be your spell casting. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so what happens is, why don't you describe to us what you do to all those wolves?
So as I yell wolves to these guys and I say everybody, huddle in, I rush towards 2 of my companions and my hand bursts out, one around Helgi to the top, to the one that was to the north first, and this firebolt comes out around her. My left hand then comes to the ground and then shoots like the 2 is like bam bam. And the bolts of fire kind of like twinkle out of my fingers and lock together into this one stream as it crushes and burns these wolves.
Very cool. And you see that one of them, burnt, cindered. You can see the smoke coming from his fur and flesh, and he yips. But you can see that even after recoiling, he starts to stand again. So one is still standing, but he is shaken, and that's something I'll get into in a minute. His turn, which is
Cool.
beginning now. So on the wolf's turn, so the way shaken works. So shaken is a condition you get. If you roll damage over someone's toughness, but only just over it, the enemy is shaken and not taking a wound. And that basically means that they're stunned for as long as they're shaken, they essentially can't do anything. Okay, but each turn they can kind of try to roll to get out of shaken. And it could be really penalizing. But like say in this case, the wolf down there, number 5, he will have to make a roll to come out of shaken before he can take an action. So the other wolves, they have an amazing pace because they're wolves. And they rush in. 1 and number 6 leap in towards Rolf.
Oh,
And
fuck.
Number 2 leaps in towards Gunnar. All of them, their teeth baring. They are hungry. You do believe they're probably starved. Maybe like they haven't found food in this intense blizzard.
I got
cold
something for you to
days.
eat here, Wolfie. It's called my greatsword. How do you think that's gonna taste?
So we're gonna do Wolf 1 first towards Wolf, and Wolf 1 will try to bite at you. Okay, so when it blows below your parry, and you'll notice there that it actually automatically added the gang up bonus from having another wolf on him. But if it rolls below his parry, that's a straight miss. So you are good. So the wolf tries to bite in at you, and you're just turning and rolling the right way to keep it from landing a deadly blow against you. And this is Wolf 2 on Gunnar. Wolf 2 is snarling, baring his teeth at you.
Miss.
Also a miss. And Wolf 5 is the one who's shaken. So the cool thing about Savage World's rule system module is it automatically will roll the shaken results and try to get me out of shaken every turn for the NPCs. So he rolled under the target of 4, so he's going to remain shaken. And he can't act. So essentially he's still over there like burning and cindering, and maybe there's a little fire left on him and he's kind of recoiling. Maybe he's pushing his nose in the dirt like a wolf would if he's on fire, trying to get all this like rolling around over there trying to get out. And the last wolf on Rolf is going to snarl and bare his teeth at you and leap in towards you, rolling a 6, raising, making it a total of 7 over your parry.
And hits.
Now, Now here's the time to talk about this. Okay, so if you roll an attack roll and you get 4 over their parry, this is actually for skill rolls in general, trait rolls in general. If you get 4 over the target number you're trying to get, it's what's called a raise. And you could raise multiple times. You can get 4 over, 8 over, 12 over, 18 over. And in the case of combat, if you get a raise, doesn't matter how many, if you get a raise, you add a plus 1d6 to your damage. So you can't raise 3 times and get plus 3d6. But you get 1 raise. That's awesome. Okay, so now the bite. So now the wolf has bitten you, getting a raise, and he's going to bite at you and do the damage here. So the
Like,
damage is
you
Ow,
automatic.
ow, my leg, my leg.
I'm sorry, was Boffrin, you saying something?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
I was just going to say you see an example of the raise with Hakan in his 50 roll.
That's a great example of how damage can pile up quick. Okay, so in this case, so the wolf bites you and goes over your toughness, but only just a little bit. If you see on the combat tracker, I don't know if you guys can see quite what I see with the new modification, but it says 7, your toughness was 6. You're shaking, you're not wounded. Like, you've got this wolf on you and he's kind of stunned you, and all you feel, maybe you might feel pain, but nothing is happening to you right now that's a huge detriment to you. Alright. So, Rolf, you've got these 2 wolves bearing down on you. What do you do?
I'm gonna go for the one that tried to bite. I mean, I literally just bite at my leg and just swing my sword at his face and be like, "Get the hell off of me, you
So,
dirty dog!"
Very cool.
question, sorry. Being shaken, is he still able to attack?
That's actually a good point. Yeah, I forgot that it doesn't automatically roll for players. So I want you to make a shaken roll for me. That is a spirit roll. Okay, so make a spirit roll, and if you do good enough, you can still take your actions. Look at that. Ace that 6.
You did good enough.
Okay, so you rolled high enough to do another action without taking any penalties. So you are fine. You immediately shrug off the pain or effects that the wolf was causing to you, and you can take all your actions.
So tell him how to remove shaken.
On the combat tracker, do you see something, Shanninator? You may need to. There you go. Looks like Shan cleared it for him.
Took care of everybody.
Well, it's actually on the character sheet. He can do it himself. I just wanted
That too.
I didn't know if he was going to explain that.
Yeah, you can just click on them and you can remove them.
Dog, get
1
the
second, guys.
freak away from me!
AFK.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for him to come back. No.
Sorry, I had my headphones off talking to the wife. How'd that go?
Oh, he was waiting for you.
Okay, so yes, so you want to attack him with your sword?
Yeah, I want to hit him.
Very cool. Very cool. You hit. You find fur. You find flesh. Roll your
I
damage.
find flesh. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so the way you roll damage is you'll look at your combat tab,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll find there are on your character roll specifically, you have 2 attacks. You have a bow and a short sword there. Now, your left side by the hammer is the attack roll. You won't do that. You can attack from this screen. But you can also, your damage is on the right side of the attacks tab. You see where it says, it looks like 2 squares beside each other?
Yeah.
Those are actually 2 6-sided dice. They just look like 2 squares.
Okay.
And then
so
you
I'm
just
gonna-
pick them up and drag them over to the token that you're attacking. Or you can drag them on the combat tracker, however you want to do it. So you rolled, unfortunately, very badly. So,
yeah.
it's just a glancing blow, as the wolf tries to leap to the side. All right.
That didn't go well.
Gunnar, what do you do? And it's actually this is a good time to mention this too. You can, as I was saying before, you can take multiple actions when we were talking about turn order and actions. You can take multiple actions, but you can't take the same action twice unless you have a edge or something that allows you to. So Rolf can't attack twice unless he has edges that let him do that. I think there's a rule for reckless attacking, but there's huge penalties. But
So
for the
I
most
could
part,
use my staff and then cast a power, essentially.
You could, but it would be I believe that would qualify as 2 separate attack. That wouldn't be attack and cast a spell, wouldn't it, Boffrin?
Yeah.
So you could do that
So
both.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So you could do that, but you would suffer multi-action penalties. You'd suffer a -2
Okay.
for both of those attacks. You just have to declare if you're going to do multiple actions at the beginning of your turn, so you can get the right penalties.
And then if I do a
Ah.
third one, then it's -4, right?
Yep, for all the
Yep.
actions. All right, Gunnar, you got a wolf bearing
Gunner's
down.
gonna
What do you do?
say, "You hungry, pup? Want a taste of steel?"
Once again, a wonderful raising on that 6-sided dice.
Okay,
on the
so
odd die.
so what do I do now that I have the raise?
Yeah, so the good thing is it will automatically calculate your bonus damage from the raise.
Oh,
All
okay,
you'll
so
have
I
to do
just
is go to your attacks
roll-
page and click your dice on your damage dice on the
Damage.
right-hand side.
Okay.
And it will automatically throw in that extra dice. Look at that.
12.
You wounded him twice.
Are these really wilds?
Is that?
No, he's gonna
Well-
die. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh,
He's gonna die.
okay.
Why don't you describe to us how he dies?
The wolf kind of snaps and tries to lunge at me, and I just take this massive swing with my greatsword and just lop off his head.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's nasty.
Then I pick if I have I could like pick up the head, like throw it at the other wolf by Rolf.
Okay. Cool. Sweet. Throw it over my
Trying to
little
scare it.
face.
Yeah,
and-
throw it at the wolf by Rolf.
Okay.
Just kind of like to scare it or whatever.
Nice. Very cool. All right.
What happened to your buddy? You want to be next?
And for in the future, I know you didn't know you were going to kill that guy, but in the future, like if you wanted to throw an intimidation in with an attack, you could do those same things in a turn. You just have multi-action.
Oh,
dice.
okay.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh,
But
cool.
like in this case, you said you were moving. You're going to be carrying the great sword, right? You're using it right now.
Yeah, great sword.
Okay. See, I did something on your sheet where on your parry and your toughness and stuff, you can actually double-click those values there, and you could bring up like modifications to them. And so, like I clicked the check mark says you're wielding your great sword because parry
Oh, okay.
actually makes
Oh,
you
I
easier
see.
to hit. You're less able to defend
Oh,
yourself.
okay.
It's so big.
I just thought the great sword would be more damage, so
It's
I thought
way more damage. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
You just
I would go with the great sword.
more difficult to defend yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So Uldred John, Balfrin, what does he do?
All right. I see that Rolf is just kind of out there on his own. So what I'm
He's
gonna
swamped.
do is exactly. So we need to sit there and basically help. Kind of help out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and move on over beside
Two-step
Rolf there.
person.
And basically, this is going to help me get a little gang up bonus on number 6 here.
Very cool.
Yep. So I am going to. So you know what? I think I'm going to do a little multi-action here. I am going to go ahead and do a trick as I'm running over. I'm going to kick some snow up into the face of the wolf.
Very cool. You're gonna try to shaking him, huh?
Yep.
Very cool.
So basically, our wolf number 6 there, we're gonna, and basically, you have a couple kind of tricks you can do in Savage Worlds, and these things are really cool, man. Basically, you can do either an agility trick or smarts trick. Generally, you want to try and pick what you think is going to be your more favorable attribute to try and pull your trick off. So in this case here, would you say like kicking up snow in his face would be an agility trick?
Yeah, if he moved out of the way, he wouldn't be affected with it, so he would defend with agility.
Okay. So basically, in this case, if I'm doing this right, it should be an agility roll
Mm-hmm.
against our target there. So that's our trick.
5.
So I failed to trick the wolf.
You failed.
So the wolf
Actually, that
throws-
should have been a -2, so
Yeah, you
that'd be a
should've
1.
applied a multi-action penalty. But
Yep.
But yeah, so that would have been even worse. But like, so you dodge out you throw the snow up, and the wolf just leaps to the side as he sees it coming in. But you can still take your action. Just remember, you get a -2 for this attack.
Yep. And actually, just for fun here, I think I'll go ahead and Benny this because I think I can do this here.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go ahead and try this trick again. There we go.
That's a lot better. It's a lot better.
That is.
Okay, so that is way better. That's successful. Now the thing
Yep.
about Benny's is only he rolls. He re-rolls. So in those opposed rolls like that, he re-rolls and he knows that they got a 5. So
Yeah.
All right.
So then I will go ahead
Shake
and
your team before you do that.
yes, please.
Okay.
All right.
Now
So-
this is actually a good time to talk about why that's relevant to everyone. If an enemy is already shaken and you deal over their toughness, it's going to just straight deal a wound to them because it's like a tiered system. So like if it goes like shaken wounds, and then if they're already shaken, that's faster for them to get hurt.
All
So
right.
for the new guys, you want to explain wounds?
Wounds is
Yep.
basically like your hit points in this game. You take penalties to actions when you have wounds, and if you get more than 3, there's vigor rolls or death.
As a wild card.
that kind of stuff.
Extras that are the non-wild card characters only have 1 wound ever.
Right, and like dogs and wolves are extras.
So, coming up on my multi-action here, the final of it, I'm going to go ahead and use my axe to whack this guy.
Aced on that 8, nice,
Yep.
very cool.
And then we will, did not seem to do the bow. You know what? We'll find out in a sec here. And rolling for damage now.
Very cool.
There we
That
go.
is enough to bring down the wolf. Why don't you describe that to us, Balvin?
I come in, I run in, and didn't run in. Basically, kind of just strolled over, kicked up some snow in the wolf's face, and blinded him. And he got a little dazed from the sudden burst of snow in his face. And in his dazement, I went ahead and brought my axe down on the back of his neck and cut solidly through the neck bone there.
Very cool. You hear a crack as it slides in, and a spray of blood just kind of paints the white behind the wolf. All right. And that's actually a good time to mention. Y'all noticing all the blood splatters on the map? That's something cool. They do
Yep.
in Savage
Oh, yeah,
Worlds where
yeah,
there's
that's cool.
marks where people died.
Yeah, I like it.
It's also really cool. It's like a memorial to like a player that dies.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I've had that happen. So, all right.
And that's built
critical.
into the rule set. That's not an extra extension or
You can
anything.
turn that off if it's noisier.
So
Heggy.
gripping
What do you do?
gripping her spear tightly, she says a prayer to Freya. Sorry that I have to do this. Forgive me for killing this wolf. And then she's going to charge at the wolf, screaming, By Odin's beard, you shall not eat us today, Fenris!
Very cool. Fenris, nice throwback.
Nice.
Also, something to just kind of mention at this point while we have a slight lull in the conversation is running. Like, if you were to run into a situation, you use your run die, and were to take another action, that's considered a multi-action.
Yeah.
Just walking in isn't going to adversely affect you.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
so,
five.
so I
five
should have done
there.
my run then, right? Because I
You
was
had enough
actually
pace to
charging
get
the-
there. I think you were only 6 away. You're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 6 away.
Yeah. So
You're fine.
this when I target this guy, it says 5'5" or like 5.5. So that means that I can't actually walk to him because I've got a pace of 4, right?
Yes, you can't walk to him. You'd have to make a run action. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but you can always just bolt him again if you want to. PowerPoints return over time. Balfred, sorry, offhand, I haven't used PowerPoints in my games. I usually use the no PowerPoints modifications. What's the rate at which they return? Do you remember?
I want to say it's like 1 per hour, unless you have any something to
so like
modify.
using them in this scene
Okay.
is not that bad because next scene may be combat scene could be somewhere up the mountain or something
Sure.
hours away.
Okay. So then I will roll my next firebolt against this guy.
So this time you're just doing one attack towards him for full damage. All right.
So does he get 3 bolts still?
He could
Yeah.
cast it that way if he wanted
Yeah.
to.
No, I didn't know. I casted 3 bolts because it says 1 per missile. So in the way I read it, I assumed that I can cast just 1 at a time.
Yep, certainly can.
Yeah. So
Cast 3 bolts like that. It uses 3 power points. When you cast just one, you're using 1 point.
yeah. So the first time I had taken
Okay.
3 power points off because it says 1 per missile. So this time, I looked at this guy and I say, this fire needs to be more immense, and I put 2 hands towards him, and I both my hands together. This red fire laser comes out and burns him to death. I'm
Very
assuming.
Cool. Yes, very cool. Yes, burns him to death. It hits him with enough force that he kind of slides back through the and like sends a flurry of snow up in the air, and then you can see the heat, in your vision, where it's still hot from over there where he's burned up, and he's laying toast on the edge of the snowbank there. So that wolf is done.
And before my turn ends, I'm just gonna start walking away from these guys, and I'm gonna start looking for the right path to lead.
Well,
I mean,
that's
I
actually
know,
a good
I know, I
time to
can't
mention,
actually.
north. North is, I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in the way I described it.
Yeah.
That is north. And remember when you guys walked out to this little clearing, you saw the silhouette to the peaks? That direction.
Yeah, no, I was just more just trying to make my movement, and just try to describe it. I was gonna, what I was gonna do.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So Hakon acted. Now, Uldra John, what do you do? Balfrin.
All right. Oh wow, it came all the way back to my turn again.
Yeah,
Dang.
that's the thing with
All
rolling
right.
initiative, right? Every turn.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right,
surprised
I
got
forget about
someone
that.
To
again.
mention, actually, just in case it doesn't come up in this game, is that, as I said, this is a playing card deck it draws, but it
Mhm.
also has the jokers in. 2 jokers. If you
Yep.
get
I
the
love the
joker,
jokers.
you always act first, and you get a +2 to every dang thing that turn.
Jokers
So
are awesome.
damage, attacks, and +2 may not seem like a lot, but it is a lot in Savage Worlds. So
And does that
Mhm.
actually automatically
it will
calculate the
automatically calculate.
have to check? Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yep.
So I am gonna go ahead and maximize my gang up bonus here.
I hear you.
Because see, now we've got 3 of us.
Yeah, gang up bonus is another concept in the game that takes advantage of players working tactically without having to constantly try to flank and maneuver a lot. Essentially, you get
And-
+1s just for other allies being.
And if you
adjacent to
notice, it automatically calculates the gang up.
Yes.
You don't have
Yep.
to hit advantage.
I know it's yeah.
Yeah, IKL did a great job with that. So let's see. Now here's where we're gonna help out each other a little more, because I'm a bit of like a tricky kind of guy, and I've gotten some blood left over on my axe there, so I will swing my axe into the snow a bit as I bring my my attack up and try another agility trick here.
Are you gonna do an
And
attack while you're at
do
it?
my attack. So it's going to be a multi-action again.
-2.
Yep. And let's see. We will, do that and do our agility. But first, let's make sure we got our target there.
Yeah, I find the card combat tracker where you do have it targeted now. It's
Yep.
weird how it only it makes it gray instead of saying under your name that you're targeting something.
Yeah. You can
Well, it
see on the
also,
board, too, there's an arrow.
Yep.
Yes.
I was going to mention that. So let's see here and do our agility trick. Oh, yeah.
Oh yes. So unless the dog aces on a D8, right? Because he doesn't have a wild dice. Unless he aces on a D8, which is like what, like a 11% chance or something like that, he's not gonna get anywhere near that. Which
Yep.
he rolled a 1. So when you send that snow up, it goes right in the wolf's face, and he just kind of turns his head, distracting him briefly from that. Now you make an attack.
All right. And into his
Oh, yeah,
turned
take it.
head,
All
I
right.
will, go ahead and just whack him mightily. And I'm going to miss.
Yep. But he is still shaking. That's the cool thing. He's still shaking.
That's right.
For the rest of you guys that are around him.
But as you
Yep.
can see, the -2 screwed you.
Yep. Heggy, what do you do? But the shaken helped him, so.
Oh yeah, she's just gonna keep stabbing at this wolf. Die, Fenris, die!
Hit.
Cool. Roll that 6. Roll that 6. Nice.
Alright,
Should be
I'm
it.
Would you
guessing she
describe
actually got
this
it.
to us, Heggy? Describe
So-
how badass you are.
So this shaken wolf, as he's like, after all just shaken him, he turns to me to try to bite, snip at me, and I just stab him right in the throat, through all the way to the out of his tail, and he's like on my spear now, and I kind of shake him off.
Very cool. Very cool. And like you start to shake him off, and you're like, man, I got the spear on him deep, and you have to put your boot on him and just kind of
Yep.
slide the spear out.
Exactly.
And
And as he's trying to kick him off, I say, "Keep him on. We can use him on a spit, and we need to eat."
that's actually a good idea, yeah, so- nice. Okay, so combat is over, guys. All right, cool. So you can close your combat trackers out, and so you see that Hakon was already out ahead of you guys, looking in the forest for the tracks of the trolls. Can you make a tracking roll for me? And at this point, you notice that you're in an area. You notice that the snow has kind of lessened as bad, and the it's kind of made it a little easier. So I would do it at a -2 instead of a -4, but you still rolled terribly. But
Yep.
Hakon, you have difficulty finding the tracks again.
I
You
say,
believe that as long as you're heading north,
Yep. And I know which way north is.
yeah, you head towards the silhouette of
Yeah.
those mountains there. There's a higher
Okay.
chance of you guys finding
So
what you want.
I'm gonna turn to everybody. I'm gonna say I may not be able to see the tracks, but I know better where north is than you. So I start limping up this way.
That's funny.
Excuse
That is so
me.
awesome. That's towards Rolf's character, by the way.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of towards Helgi.
Squeeze me.
Nice.
And I was gonna say, well, in my days, my teachers told me if we head towards the silhouette of the mountains is north. Clearly, none other of you were paying attention in your class, so I'll be teaching the lessons here.
Nice. Nice.
Well, he's got that
Really?
quirk where everything is a lesson, right?
Oh yes, everything is a lesson.
Yep.
for sure.
Respect your elders.
Exactly.
Respect
I
no
am
elders.
I'm elder than all of you. Except
No,
maybe-
I'm the oldest.
Oh,
I'm in
piss
my
on your
60s.
lesson book.
We can have an age
So would I.
dispute over the two elders if we want to between Hakon and Gunnar.
So what I am
Yeah.
pissing,
Yeah.
pissing
Bunch of
bloody
ageist.
rulebook.
Piss on your rule book.
Speaking about that,
Well-
didn't he sit there and kind of like express one of his hindrances there, essentially?
Yes, thank you. I have to have Balfron to remind me of these many things because I don't use them very much in my games.
Mhm.
All right, so Hakon, you're playing up to one of your hindrances, and
I
it's-
actually said two of them there actually because I said he limps away because he's lame as well.
I'm not gonna, yeah, I'll give you one. Everything is a lesson. But,
Mine is like one of mine is mean. So
Okay,
yeah,
but
if
yes,
you be mean to the point to where it causes friction in like a scene or something with the
Oh,
party,
yeah.
that will definitely.
I think I'm
work.
better than all of you.
So I'm gonna give Hakon a Benny.
Kiss my
Excellent.
glorious bloody ass.
Now he's got
But
four.
remember, we're playing in Norse mythologies, or so. The Norse did respect their elders.
Mhm.
Yes, they
Well,
did.
the young didn't give a crap.
All right, so I want you guys to Balfron, correct me if I'm wrong. Teamwork test. Essentially, if you wanted to teamwork the tracking rolls, it would be a +1, right, for every success and raise.
Yep.
That's correct. Okay, thank you. It's been a while. All right, so in this case, you guys are having a hard time finding the tracks. It might be wise to work as a team, those who have tracking. But I'm going to say that only the
Okay.
people that have the tracking skill can teamwork on
I
this.
think there's
So
only one
Hakon,
person that has
you know,
it. Right?
Hi.
Hakon's still in the lead, and I have that tracking in. So I'm gonna say,
And so do I.
I'll give each of you one more chance, but this time I'm gonna watch you carefully.
So that'd be Rolf. Rolf can take a chance here because he has the tracking
Mhm.
skill. So, but what happened here is Hakon, why don't you make a tracking test, no penalty? And then, okay, so you don't give any bonus to Rolf. So Rolf, you're going to make
Okay.
a tracking. It's going to be at a -2 now, please. To see if you can get that actual track.
Suck.
Guys are on fire. On fire. Everyone make a vegan roll for me.
Oh god.
You guys are gonna be in terrible shape by the time you get to the.
That's not bad.
No,
No, it's
Okay,
below.
Heggy
I'm
and
gonna use
Gunnar.
my-
Peggy is freezing.
Heggy and Gunnar. Who didn't roll?
I'm
Oh,
just
Heggy
thinking
got
of
Who?
it today.
Okay, good. Okay, so
By the way, I
that is
did,
fatigue for Heggy.
Can I
and
use a
Gunnar.
Benny to re-roll?
You can. You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you just click on one? Double click or on the Benny on
You
the
just
on
right
the
click and right click on the bennies up there at the top, and it's gonna pop up.
What,
And
the
one of those
Benny?
options is use Benny to re-roll.
You mean the three little circle things? You mean?
Okay.
I'm gonna re-roll mine as well.
All
Actually,
right, cool.
Oh, okay, good.
oh please, for the love of Satan! Oh, good you son of a bastard!
Remember, that's at a -2, so.
Oh, right. Okay. God damn it! Fine. There,
So
still 5.
I'm praying to Frigid.
Heggy,
The
did
gu-
you say
the
you were
guy-
gonna re-roll as well? On the vigor,
No,
or you
I'm
keep yours?
I'm keeping my bennies. I'm gonna
Okay.
pray to Hagrid, or who the hell was it? Frigid. Frigid was the wilderness goddess,
Yeah.
and I'm going to ask, could they please send us a sign to show us the way?
Before
You know, I
we
know
like
you
leave
just
the
said
area,
You want to hang on to your Benny, but
Yeah.
if you
I'm
make
feeling
it,
like
you know what?
it
If you make a faith roll,
hmm
damn, you rolled that, failed that.
Yeah, I failed it too. So that
Uh,
I don't
minus
have any
one
faith
because
in
of
anyone.
fatigue.
Not
Your
you.
God damn you, Rolf!
your faith is.
I don't have any faith of any of you.
Yep.
The gods have basically forced y'all to deal with the situation
Well,
on your own.
No, glorious
I
God,
just-
can you please just smite
It
down this
makes
guy?
sense. Shut up, George, for a minute. If it makes
Before-
sense.
before we set out, I try to grab everyone's attention and say, guys, let's remember to get this food there, and you know,
Take a
I
rest.
mean, I don't know about you guys, but I forgot to eat before leaving the camp. You know, we just had to get out of there to.
We didn't have breakfast, yes.
That's why I said keep the wolf on the spit, or,
Yeah.
or on the sphere. That's.
All right.
Did you keep it or did you kick it off?
But yeah, someone needs to. I believe we need to either survival roll or something to
Yeah.
at least process the stuff and take it
Yeah.
with us. You know.
Yeah, you'll have to. It'll be a survival to. If you want the furs to keep you warm, and that'll give you a bonus on vigor rolls, you could skin them and cover yourself.
Oh,
in the wolf's
definitely.
fur. But also, a good hearty meal will help you better fight off the cold. All of you were pretty hungry after rushing out of the village early in the morning. So I'm going to
You want
say
me to roll
that
a survival
if
roll,
someone
or-
makes a survival roll, they know and successfully gut the wolves and trim them down, and they find a safe spot for
Well,
for doing this, away from the winter, so they can light a fire and all that stuff and cook everything. And then while everyone's gathering around, Hakon and Heggy, you feel something cold like slap you in the back, and then you realize that there's snow on your shoulder.
somebody threw a snowball at us.
And I turn and I start looking around, and I guess I should roll a notice.
Well, I just wanted to role play out why my faith was shattered, but
Roll
Everybody went all over.
for you. Are you stealthing?
No, I'm not stealthing. No, I was turning. I turn around, like I spin around on my one good leg,
Okay. All right,
and
yeah,
and I just gotta like scan the area to see.
So you turn around and you don't know where that freaking snowball came from. It came out of nowhere.
Okay, and I'll turn to Heggy and I'll say, did they hit you too? Do you know?
well,
what that
before
was?
any of that happened, I wanted to do my reaction to my faith roll, but
Yeah, so while
everybody
you're,
else jumped
while
all
you're
over
praying,
everything.
we'll resolve. That was my bad. I must not have heard you over the chaos of the talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like before all that resolved, your faith roll. You're praying out in the wilderness,
Hmm.
and your gods
Well,
do not answer your call.
Because her faith is shaken because she thinks the Ragnarok is upon us, and we kind of stopped it because we killed Fenris.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
that's why her faith is shaken.
Wow. She's no longer an instrument of the gods. She's acting.
Cool.
Interesting. So, like, while you're unfocused and you're heading back to the camp as they're setting the fires and cooking the food, you also get struck and pelted with a snowball. And that's when Hakon looked at you and asked you.
What?
The gods have forsaken us. They pelted me with a snowball. Ragnarok is here.
Okay, so because she hasn't actually answered me yet, so I'm gonna turn to Heggy, and I'm gonna say, why did he throw a snowball at me?
I didn't throw a snowball. I just just gave you your answer.
No, I thought you were still talking about the gods thing.
No, that was my reply to you. Ragnarok is here. The gods have forsaken us.
No. They know that we're out to kill, to revenge the Jarl. The gods are on our side. They must be. This is the trickery of some kind of goblin or something. I know it.
Nice.
Loki the trickster is out there doing something.
Loki wouldn't waste his time on us.
Gunnar, you're sitting at the campfire, watching as Uldred John is cutting the meat, cooking it, furring, and you're probably already. I'll say actually at this point you guys are already, starting the meal, and you're also struck by a snowball.
What the friggin'
from outside the camp somewhere. Turn and look. There is no one there.
What the frig was that? Oh, you're so dead. Whoever did that, you're dead. I'm gonna feed you a yellow snowball.
A yellow snowball, nice.
Yes.
Snowball fight, bitches!
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So now at this point, you guys have had a hearty meal and you've got some pelts and stuff. I'm going to, if you guys fail the Stex tracking check and wander to the wilderness some more,
We're
I'm going
dead.
to give you a vigor roll at a +1
Okay.
to not get fatigued and cold in the winter. But you're drawing closer to the cliff sides. You're getting very close to these mountains.
Do we do anything?
I'm gonna turn to Rolf,
or...
and I'm gonna say, this time, Rolf, you help me, and I'm gonna try the tracking one more time.
Okay.
Okay. So
Who
Rolf,
threw the
why don't you
snowballs,
make
by the way?
Rolf, make a tracking roll. For me.
And I start praying to hell now.
Look at that, and then Rolf is the amazing one.
Of
Okay,
course.
so you get a +2 to this, Hakon, and the difficulty is a -2. But just go ahead and roll, and I'll do that myself.
I reveal
It'd just be a
myself,
straight roll at
finally.
that point.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Finally.
Okay, so that's with a raise. So with the raise, I'll say that you guys get back on track, and you make up for lost time. You guys find yourself at the mountains. You've passed through the hills, and now you're at the mountains where you're gonna have to start climbing these sheer peaks.
And I'm gonna say,
And the tracks have led to this mountainside here. The tracks have led to the sheer it's sheer, but it's at the point where you're gonna have to actually make climbing rolls to make it up this mountain pass and follow this trail.
God.
So
finally
this is a good time to mention that just like in D&D, you guys can creatively think of things that might help you. If you do, I'll give you bonuses. I'll give you negatives. If you can do teamwork tests to kind of help each other out. Some of you are better at climbing, and some of you don't have it at all. So
No.
it's a good time to be creative, I guess, if you want to.
Yeah, I have climbing.
Are we at the cliff side, or
so as we're walking this
It's
whole
gonna
time,
be
I'm just
climbing, like you're actually having
Okay.
to get on off like 4 arms and
Yeah.
4 legs. Sorry, God, I can't talk. 2 arms and 2
Just think-
legs and going at it.
Freehand climbing.
And
Are we gonna try to
when
climb
I mentioned
it, or...
getting gear at the beginning, did anyone happen to think I must get my
To look for a
climber's kit?
rope?
I should get my climber's kit
Nope.
or rope.
Uh,
Okay.
Why don't you?
Higgy's
why
going
don't
to
you
look
people who-
around. Higgy's going to look around for any small trees and stuff and start stripping bark and start making rope.
That takes hours. I chuckle at you,
Yeah.
and I basically, since I'd already had brought winter gear with me, which
Okay.
I didn't need first,
Yeah.
I start going into my pack and cutting up the fur into strips and tying to make an improvised rope.
Yeah, I brought winter gear with me as well. Winter boots and a bedroll, winterized as well.
Okay, so you guys take some of the furs that you found from the wolves and instead cut them into strips, basically, to make rope. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so I want someone to make a survival roll to do that, though. Because it's
All
definitely
right.
in the survival roll territory.
Oh, I do not have any of that.
There we go.
Soldier John is able to handle that. And he fashions a bit of rope. So the rope will make the climbing roll easier. And I'll give you guys a +1 to the climbing roll. But the problem is someone has to get the rope up there somehow.
Not me.
So
I
that's one
kinda
that goes first.
I sit there and tie the makeshift rope to my waist and start to attempt to climb.
So Aldred is going to take the lead climbing.
Oh. But you know what? We
I'm
yeah, man, I am gonna have
So
to.
the way this works is so the GM can kind of it can be a pure success or failure type situation, obviously, but there is gray areas where the GM can kind of control the narrative.
How
in
how
this way.
high up is this?
Your first climb is about. You think you need to get to the ledge above you. That's about 60 feet up.
Do I
And what
still have
happens in
any
this case
visuals?
is Aldred, he climbs about 20 feet, and you get there fine, but you feel it just exhausted you more than you thought it would. So I'm gonna give you a fatigue level. So you made up the cliff, but you take a point of fatigue.
Okay.
So
Y-
you're
is
sorry, you
Higgy-
didn't make it up the whole of the cliff. You're about a third of the way up at this point.
All right.
But you do have the rope, and you could help everyone else up with this rope.
Does Higgy
Yep.
still have that point of fatigue?
I believe he does. Okay, so at this point, anybody who wants to scale this cliff, at
How
this
do you
point,
remove
I'll
fatigue?
scale it. Can I do it?
fatigue will be over time, and unfortunately, you
I
guys
will
just
attempt
now
to
earned that one
climb it.
recently. It would still be there, the fatigue. So
You want me to go ahead and do a climbing check?
I was just wondering if I lost it when we took that meal and stuff.
I was just
that's actually
using
a
my
good
strength
point.
to try and
How much
climb up
time?
that thing.
Bob, from offhand, how long does it take to get rid of fatigue?
I think it takes a little rest. But I think Higgy had fatigue before we did the wolf combat, didn't she?
No, I got it
Oh.
after because I failed my faith roll.
I'll say that if y'all take a break at the top of this cliff, then you could get the fatigue
So
away.
I'm gonna be a -3 for unskilled climbing checks.
You want me to do?
Yeah.
You can take a break now at the bottom of the cliff until your fatigue goes away.
Yeah,
But you
Yeah,
guys
go
are
ahead
going to need to
and
make a
climb up.
survival roll to find a sufficiently place. You can either backtrack back to that campsite that you found with the furs and stuff like that, and you cut up the meat and stuff. You can either backtrack
If
there
someone-
and rest there, or you can find another place near the wall.
Well, since if we're gonna rest up on the ledge, what I would, if it looks like people are having trouble come up, I'll say if someone can come up and help me, we can carry up people
I'll
that we
come up
need
and-
to, or
I'll
pull them
come
up
up
with a
and
rope.
help you.
You're already halfway up, anyways.
A
I'm
third.
trying to think, guys. Like, what if we try to do like a human ladder kind of thing, where we each
Brilliant idea.
And
I'll
at
go
the
at the
bottom.
bottom.
the next person climbs up the person's back, and then they keep climbing up, and we lift them up, and then eventually that one person's holding, we keep climbing up each other while that
Well,
person's
it'd be
holding
60,
Human
60
pyramid.
feet, so I don't.
That's a bit
maybe
much.
it's
It
We
is a
need
bit
at least
much,
10
but-
people at 6
But
feet
but
tall.
at least we could get someone up to you to help get you down if you need to, right?
I have a roll a
I don't know.
D8 for climbing, so
Well, you
gotta
got to
be some-
remember, we're freehand climbing with just one rope. He's not
Yep.
bumping the rope into the wall or anything.
Yes, no, I know that's but it's not a sheer cliff. It's got a little bit of an edge, so that's where we could kind of like lean on, like somebody's holding up each other's feet. You know what I mean?
I'll give
And
you
you're right,
I'll
we're
give you each of you a +1 for the rope, and if you guys follow that tactic and take your time and work together as a team, I'll give you a +1 on top of that for this.
I'm going to
technique.
see if I can knot some of the actual rope together with some smarty smarts, try and figure out how it's supposed to go together.
I assumed that you guys nodded it because I mean, using a cold wind.
Yeah, it
on a
was-
string
it was
in the middle of
already-
winter
already
would
done.
Just be,
Damn you!
sorry.
That's fine.
Okay,
Okay, so that's +2 though. You know, if you guys use that tactic and climb your way up the wall.
go ahead and do a climbing check.
I don't have any
so
climbing.
That's
Whoever
just-
rolls first will be the ones going up next. So
I'm going to attempt to just strength of it.
So for me, that would just be an unskilled, right?
Be 6.
if you don't have it,
Yes.
it'd be unskilled. But like,
I
but like
rolled-
Aldred said, like you could lift some people, and that would be a
Yeah.
strength check for those people.
I'm going.
I rolled a
Essentially,
6
you can go
plus
last.
whatever. Plus, you said it was like a +1 or +2.
+2.
+2.
Gunnar
So it'd be 8.
easily makes his climbs up to the landing where Aldred is at. So
I pull people up.
All
Okay,
right.
I'll help pull people up.
Yep. So like Heggy and Hekon, you
Yeah.
know, since Hakon's lame, we're definitely gonna make sure that we get him pulled up.
Okay.
all right. So what it's
I
gonna work
am-
is it'll be a strength check for Gunnar and Aldred, and what we'll do is we'll
Okay.
do a teamwork test. So
I'll go last.
whoever's
Okay.
I was gonna help as
highest
well.
strength will be okay. Great.
I rolled a D10 for strength. So
Gunnar would probably be one of your primary actor, you know, so it
Yep.
would be the other two
Okay.
helping him. So why don't you, the other two of you, make strength checks, and if you get a 4 or higher, great.
just you want me to roll the strength check as well? Or?
Yeah, anyone helping will roll now. So Aldred and
Damn it! I rolled terrible.
At least I
Yeah,
helped
but,
you up.
but it's a group
Rolf,
check.
did
so
you
you're
climb up
fine.
yet?
Oh yeah.
No, because I don't have climbing ability.
So
It's
how
okay,
you rolling
but-
a strength?
I was gonna try
You
something
can't
really
use
quite
strength.
smart.
You can't use
Well-
strength. You have to use
was
unskilled.
gonna
Rolf
make-
can push from the bottom.
Yeah,
like-
that's
I was
what
gonna
he's- we'll
push-
say
I was
that's
gonna
how
push
he's
from
doing
the
it.
bottom,
He's
push
helping
them up
from the
there.
bottom. So, all right.
I was
so
gonna try and push them
Gunnar,
up there.
Gunnar, you rolled too early. I said just everyone
Yeah,
roll with the strength
sorry.
roll first. Okay, so that would be we'll step through how this process works. So Aldred in this case rolled an 8. Okay, and it's the teamwork test. So he rolled with a raise. The target number is 4. So that means he's going to give Gunnar a +2 to his strength as his primary actor, meaning Gunnar
Okay.
is successful.
Oh,
And
cool.
Gunnar pulls Heggy and Hakon with their help, all of you working together, up to this ledge.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm still at the bottom, aren't I?
yeah, you are unless you
Help
want to grab
me!
on and have him lift. You know, I'll say that if you want to grab on and see how badass he's doing, you can climb up. Grab
Yeah.
on the rope and he'll lift you too. You're the little asshole who would probably climb onto the bottom of the rope anyways.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So now you are all on the first ledging section, and you think there's enough room here that you guys could maybe sit with like your legs dangling off the rocky edge and just kind of get a little rest in. The wind is being blocked by the cliffs, like the mountain to your back, so it's not a bad area. Do y'all want to rest and remove fatigue levels and that sort of thing?
So Higgy
Yep.
sticks her spear into the ground and takes a seat and starts pulling her wolf skins tighter and lays down for a little rest.
Very cool. Very cool. And I don't think.
And how long are we rest? How long is the rest?
Oh, rest. We'll say it's like 30 minutes. You know, we'd have to take away 1 fatigue level from each of you, which is all you have.
Yeah.
And so now you can. Hakon, that means that your PowerPoints are probably back to where they need to be.
Yeah,
All
that's
traveling
why I
and
was.
stuff you've
That's
been
what I
doing.
was asking.
Yeah, we
Sections
need
to
those. We
15.
need you to have those PowerPoints.
When do
Sections
you
to 15.
how long does it take to get the bennies back? When do those? Or is
These
it like
do
a
not
long
come
rest?
back. That's just for
Oh, they don't
come back.
It's-
Yeah,
it's-
that's
Oh,
that's
okay.
that's
Think
for
of
just
Benny's-
fun use.
Benny's as inspiration points for
Yeah,
fighting.
but these
Oh,
are
okay.
a native
Yeah.
mechanic. They're not a mechanic your character
Oh,
has.
okay.
So they're each session though you start with 3 fresh.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and if you have more than 3, I can't remember. Balford, do you know? Do you go down to 3?
Nope. If you if this game were to go over multiple sessions, then we depending on your discretion, we would either go back up to full bennies each session, or if you're like I don't want to do that, as a game master, you're totally within your right to say, okay, you just keep what you have going into the next session on this
So in this case,
until you feel it's appropriate.
yeah. So in this case, if Hakon, who still has 4, if he didn't spend any, he would get to carry over.
Yeah, because you gave him an extra one for role playing.
Yeah, if you if you thought that was appropriate, like if we were doing a different adventure, for the next session, then you'd just be like, okay, here we go. I don't think we're at a point where where we would say like remove or like take any or reset bennies.
It's all like DM discretion essentially.
Except basically, yeah. He can also reward stuff for like good ideas that we might have out there. If he chose to, that's another way to get Benny. Basically, they're a way for
reward,
GMs to encourage thing.
And
Yeah,
some
the
of you
role
may
play.
notice I just rewarded a couple bennies to Heggy and Rolf. So Rolf, role playing his character, his youthfulness, and being kind of an a-hole in the camping scene and throwing snowballs at people, creating a tension there, and Heggy for role playing up her connection to faith and. how
Well,
it's,
Throw snowballs.
So now we have some more climbing checks to make, guys. So do y'all want to do it like last time and have some of you do climbing, and some of
Yes.
you pulling up? Okay.
As
Okay.
I'm
so
not climbing.
I want you
regretting
to
it.
roll for. Are you gonna still be a dead weight, or are you gonna try to do some climbing?
Oh.
Heggy is good. Well, let's see. Heggy is
Let me
Okay,
tell you
roll.
this. Actually, I'm sorry. If would Rolf, as arrogant as he is, would he let someone pull him up?
No.
If you
Don't
if
throw
you
the
if you
dwarf.
climb up and you fail miserably, I'll give you a Benny for it.
I'm just gonna climb up because I can't be. I can't be asked to just like grab the rope and just like pull everyone up. I'm just gonna be. Screw you guys. I'm going up.
Roll that.
That's gonna be. Yeah.
That awards you a Benny, my friend.
Woo!
Yeah, the good thing is you didn't actually roll a 1 or less, so it's not a
Uh-huh.
like an
Yeah.
absolute
Like a
failure.
critical failure.
So you make it up the cliff, but you get a fatigue level from climbing up the cliff.
Oh, that's good.
So you're another third of the way up. So Aldrin
Alright.
and Gunnar, why don't you roll climbing to see if you guys can? Well, once you get up there, you can help the other two up.
Okay.
Well, while they're doing that, Heggy wants to, since now she's had a full meal, her fatigue restored, and she's rested.
Like
maybe
a
she
champ.
feels a little bit better, so she wants to try another prayer to figure it and see if she can get some help.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Why don't you guys? Do you share that in any way? Do you share your faith? Because I mean, the skull,
they can all see me.
They're storytellers, of the
Mhm.
oral traditions of the Norse.
Yeah,
Do you,
she-
in
she-
your prayers, are you oral,
She's-
speaking to your allies?
She's speaking orally out loud, so everybody knows that she's praying to
You're
whoever deity
weird.
she's talking to.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you
in
mean you're
Hakon
weird?
being,
You follow the
In
same
traditional
deity.
Viking mythology, if you weren't religious, you're
I
the weird
know.
one. So,
yeah, like
you're the weird
Hakon
one.
being as old
I'm
as
the
he
weird
is,
one here,
like
that's-
he definitely understands what's going on when she's praying.
So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to Gunnar Aldred. When you do your strength check to pull them up, I'm going to allow Heggy to help you as if a teamwork test with faith.
Okay.
So,
Well-
Heggy, why don't you roll faith for us and see what you get? Okay,
So,
unfortunately, you didn't get a 4. So Aldred, why don't you roll your strength? Because you're going to be helping Gunnar.
All right. That's okay. That probably worked out for the best for me. I guess I just didn't hear a prayer because I'm
Really
Christian.
high up.
Yeah, you're still a Christian. Nice. It ain't like
Yep.
What's his name from Athelstan from Vikings. So.
Yeah, Aldred, you guys would know this, was basically taken prisoner from England.
Yep.
And has been slowly being adapted into the tribe.
Okay.
So
Okay, so now you Gunnar will make the strength check that determines whether they live or die. Plus 2
Okay.
bonus.
Let's
Don't you
see.
love how I threw in the live or die?
Come
thing?
on. Live or die. Live or die. I don't give a shit.
Plus 2.
I don't give a shit. I'll try to climb up the blinking wall.
Look at that. Look at that. He just like a couple of quick heaves. You guys are up there.
You're here.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, so we only have one more section of cliffside to go. The wind is picking up. You can feel the blizzard is growing stronger. You feel that Gunnar, specifically, your high survival, and I guess Ultra too, he has survival. You guys know that if you do not get to the end of these tracks to your destination soon, the blizzard will be set upon you. So I want you guys to make your climbing checks for the last section of this cliff here.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
God,
on.
we gotta get the hell up here.
There's your answer.
All right, first our Gunnar. No, I don't think you need a strength check. This is climb.
Oh,
Yeah,
climb.
climbing.
Okay, climb.
Once you're up there, then you add the strength. Yes.
Yep.
And
I'm
so
exhausted.
I want you. I know Hakon and Hagi are bored back there. If
Okay.
Hagi, this is the time when you can try to help Gunnar on his strength with faith rolls. So Hagi, why don't you do that? Your
By
prayer is
Odin's
still
beard,
uplifting
please help us.
Faith
Odin,
us
give
up
us
the
your
cliff,
faith.
please. Faith us up the cliff.
Hakon sitting there like rubbing his like leg as his bum leg gets even
Ah,
worse with
cool.
the extreme
Pretty
cold.
good.
Very cool. So that's a +1, Gunnar. Uldren, make your strength check. See if you help Gunnar.
All right. I'll very quietly whisper a Christian prayer. You know, since
Interesting.
I'm the outsider of the group here. You know, that's it's one of those things. That's why I've got outsider, because I'm not native to this culture. So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be in Latin. So
Oh, very cool. Yeah, he's like Catholic.
yep.
Yes. So Odin didn't like that very much. So
No.
all right.
Nope.
So Gunnar, you get a +1 bonus to this strength check. Sorry, to pull. I keep saying check. I should stop saying that. Trait roll. Strength trait roll.
Okay, let me go ahead.
Strength, trick roll, trick roll, trick roll.
You can just say
Ah,
roll.
that
So we'll do-
sucks. Well,
Yeah. So
Oh,
so,
right.
you,
Very
so you're
good.
able to lift Hagi and Hakon up the cliffside, and check this out. Rolf makes it to the top, but after you've already lifted Hagi and Hakon. Because he was like on the wall, and at some point he got just really exhausted. And he makes the climb up. Now he has 2 fatigue levels.
Oh,
oh,
wow.
gosh.
Now, if you want to, I'll give you a chance, Rolf, to re-roll that last climbing check with a Benny
He's a
spin.
Benny.
If you don't want to have
I
2
will.
fatigue rolls, because the blizzard is getting worse.
You don't want two fatigue rolls.
I'm actually gonna try and figure out the best way of getting up this last bit with some smarter thinking, like which bit would be like viable of going up each step.
You can't. I guess I don't understand. You thinking maybe you can find an easier way around with smarts? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, once the roll has been declared, the climbing roll that you failed miserably at, you're going to get the fatigue. You made it up to the top. So, I mean, what we're saying is that you can use the
Yeah.
meta mechanic of spinning this beanie to remove that. But
Yeah.
if you want to, and you could try to re-roll and see if it gets better. So look at that. Look at that 6.
There you
It's
go.
way better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
So you see that he's worn and tired, but you see he's kind of shimmied himself off about 20 feet, like maybe west, because he
Help.
figured out a way to like smartly like travel like at an angle that made
Yeah.
him less fatigued. All right, so you guys are up the cliff. Only some of you are a little bit fatigued, and you still see the tracks before you. They are. Does anyone need to take a drink, like get a drink or take a piss or anything?
Yes.
Just gonna come back. So why don't we take a brief,
can-
like 2 or 3 minute break?
Oh, okay.
Come on back,
Okay.
and I will.
Yeah. I'm gonna get something to drink as
I was
well.
gonna
Yeah.
Be
say
right back.
something to you, Shannanator. This is a brilliant game.
Appreciate that.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm just gonna mute the mics and stuff for the camera,
Oh.
and everything just for 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, so we are back. I am sorry about that brief break, but we're all human. So so everyone climbs to this peak, and it's kind of you're at a landing now, right? Where the pass is it's kind of leveled out, and you're in a section of the mountains where it kind of starts meandering slowly up and through the mountains. The mountainside is kind of cresting on either side, sloping down to you, and I want you to. I want people with notice rolls. I'm going to say that anyone that is trained in notice rolls can make this one
Okay.
for me at a -2.
-2. Okay. It's not bad.
Very cool. So Hakon, you are the most focused. You have a goal in mind. You are there to find vengeance for the Jarl's daughter. It's very important to you. And
my old friend.
That's right. That's right. Steinar's legacy must remain, and you come up from the cliffside, and you're laser focused on the environment, trying to find these tracks. And you look up, and you see smoke coming from what looks like, based on basically reading the rock formation and stuff around it, you think there's some sort of cave up there, and you see smoke, a trail of smoke coming up from above the cave.
And I quickly stop everybody. Like, how far away is this from me?
You'd guess it's about half a mile further up the mountain.
Okay, so I don't stop everybody. I just kind of guys, there's smoke this way. We don't need to look for tracks anymore. No more of you trying to find that stuff. We can follow the smoke. And I think that looks like our most promising lead right now.
Don't freaking tell me what to do. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do.
Gunnar, I think you should actually
shut your mouth.
I mean,
how did you? You want to fight? You want to fight with me?
Screw
Asshole.
If you guys fight each other right now, I'm gonna give him a biddy.
Come on, David. You want to fight? You want a piece of the old man? I'm ready to go to Valhalla.
And I'm gonna say,
I think he needs to go to the retirement home.
Think of why.
By the way,
I'm ready for
It's funny,
Valhalla.
Hakon is trying to be super serious here.
And Hakon turns to him, and he's just like, "Remember why we're here.
Just backhand him. We're Vikings.
Remember why we're here. Remember why we're doing this. We're here to honor our dead. This is in our blood and our heritage.
I'm just pissed.
Be dead already.
Pissed at this whole situation. It's got me in an uproar.
Walks up to Gunnar and just slaps him in the back of the head and says, "Shut up when the leader's talking."
Leader, hey.
What?
all right.
Who do you think you are, bitch?
Think of this as a seed.
All right.
All right. So.
We might want to mention, remember we had the off-camera bit with Heggy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why don't we go through that again, please, if you don't mind?
Yep.
All right. So Heggy, when we got up to the top, and she approached Aldred and said, Alden doesn't like when you forsake him. What did I forgot the word now. Paganist. And then she goes through a story of Valhalla, of Odin's feasting hall, telling you all the adventures of dying for the glory of battle, the Valkyries bringing you up to Valhalla and all that stuff, and she just explains that in story.
I just smile and nod.
Okay.
I smile and I walk straight ahead.
Hey, can you make a faith roll for me real quick?
Sure.
You remember an important detail in your story that even Aldred, it's up to Aldred, he might stop and pause to think about.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to face death. He's going to face death in the service of a Viking god. If he thought of Valhalla and acted with bravery now, he might still find that place when he dies. So, and maybe you kind of mentioned that in your thing to him.
Yeah, that was the point of the story.
But even as a Christian, if he, Viking way, Valhalla. All right, cool. So So you guys keep making your way up to this.
Still
It's
bickering
cave.
against each other.
All right, and the cave the path is difficult, but not anything that requires. Actually, there is a. Okay, I want you guys to make a. Nah, I won't do that. So you guys make your way up the cave, and you make your way to the entrance, and you can see inside the brief flickering of light, almost like you see in a campsite. You know how we're an unstable, flickering firelight, and you can see it's coming from deep within this cave. You're at the entrance, the mouth. You're obviously trying not to put yourself in the light. What do you do?
So it's just a torch flickering?
You see a light from fire inside the cave somewhere back there.
Okay.
That's all you can
Like a
make.
bit of a
You
glow
ever,
or
you ever
something?
been at like a cave entrance or a door entrance in daylight?
Can
You
Hakon
can't see
try
inside,
and
it's dark.
can Hakon try and smell in there and see what he smells?
Sure, we notice. But I'll say
Haggie's
that I'll
just
give you
going to
minus
point
two
to the
again.
cave. Haggie's going to point
Okay.
to the cave and say, we might want to be careful. There could be a dragon in there.
I don't think there's ever been a dragon
Nope.
in
And
England.
Close,
unfortunately,
but
no smell can make it to your senses. All you can just the cold
Yep.
wind and all that stuff is distracting, and yeah.
Okay.
I will say I'll go
I
in.
brought torches. Brought torches. We can light a torch.
There's already light.
Ah.
Don't draw attention to us.
Don't-
Hold
I-
back from me a bit. I'll
we
go
don't-
have a look inside for us.
We don't need torches. Torches will draw attention to us, I'll say.
All right.
Haggie's
So
gonna
I'm,
follow
Mayor,
him.
what you're going in there?
I'm gonna go ahead and stealth my way in, and basically I'm gonna look for nooks and crags that I can cling to potentially block a line of sight, and start working my way into the cave. Kind of scout it out a bit, and I let them know that I want to go ahead and scout this out for us.
All right. Make a notice roll. Sorry, make a stealth roll. Sorry. All right. So
I
you
will...
So you start approaching. You find a nice place up against the cave wall, trying to keep the shadow of the cave as you enter upon you, and you start meandering your way through there, and you hear voices coming from inside the cavern, and the voice says, a heavy voice, a thick, throaty voice. He says, "You are taken by trolls, girl. Say otherwise and we'll kill you. You'll marry Jarl Thorkelson and keep your mouth shut." A girl's voice erupts, echoing angrily, and she says, "My father raised no weaklings. I'll not be bullied into betraying my clan." "More's the pity for you, then. Thorkelson will have his way with you and slit his neck. Then I'll take your broken body back to Trondheim with a sad tale of how we tried to rescue you, but with your last words you pledged your love and legacy to Thorkelson." And then more of them start laughing, and you hear some of them chewing. Do you continue moving forward as you're hearing this?
As Hakon hears this, he kind of like bursts in, guns blasting.
I don't think we hear it. He's
You
the
haven't
only
heard
one who
anything
hears
yet.
it.
Sorry, this is just him.
Oh,
for me.
sorry.
So-
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No
'Cause
problem.
remember, he's stealthed up there.
That's right. So does it
Sorry,
sound
he's
like
about
it's
you
deep
guys.
in the cave, or?
It sounds like it's definitely not in the meat of Insanity. You think that Rolf, you've kind of come up behind Aldred a little bit. And
Did you
you've
get
heard
my
the
whisper?
throaty laughing. Yes, I got your whisper.
Okay.
And you've heard the throaty laughing of the soldiers at the end of that dialogue that we heard. So you hear the laughter of humans, not trolls. Now,
Okay.
Aldrin, what do you do now? You're in this cave and it's still further past you. It looks like it's coming from the section of cave ahead of you. Like there's like different groups of the section of the cave. I'm actually getting an image pulled up. Just give me a second. What do you do? Are you gonna keep moving, or are you gonna?
First off, from the laughs, is there any chance of me being able to tell maybe how many are in there at this point, or is it just one person talking the whole time?
There are multiple people. People. If you gotten more than, make a notice roll to see how many raises you can get on this.
From the distance that I stayed behind him, was I able to hear anything?
Remember when I told you guys to stay back?
I ain't staying back. I don't listen to people.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going forward as well. I'm not. Oh no, going all pansy stealthy crap. Let's fight.
Can I try and stop him in some way?
Sure, that would be. I guess that would probably be strength, or if you want to try to
Can I try and
persuade him not to
persuade him
with
not
persuasion,
to?
you could do that.
I'll try to be like,
stupid?
listen, stop. Let's give him a chance to come back and let us know what's going on. And
I'm staying with
many
those guys
sieges
anyway.
Okay.
We've planned many sieges in our time. We know what we're doing here. Let's let this happen.
Okay, I'll let it happen. But if they come near us, we're gonna slice their heads off.
Yeah, ready your weapons, ready your actions.
Oh, don't worry.
Let's-
I'm wearing my bow.
We trust Aldred, right? Let's give him Aldred. Let's give him a chance to come back.
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
show
give him a
that he's
chance.
one of us.
Show him what he has.
Maybe if we trust him, he'll trust us.
Yeah, sure. I'll go with that, even though I don't really pay attention to most people. I trust you guys more than anyone else in my
I don't
life.
trust any of you guys. Screw you all.
Hey,
I just want to kill these bastards.
well, you can kill them in time. Just be patient. Patience is the virtue of every adventure.
Ah! Can I roll to see if I go into a
patiently
rage?
waiting to die.
Can I roll to see if I go into a rage or something? Or
You can make
I
a
don't know.
smarts roll to see if you keep your.
I
wits about
guess he's a
Let's see.
berserker now.
it. We'll roll that's fine.
okay.
You keep your wits
Can I
about you.
try and
Okay,
can I
so-
try and like set him down? Can I try and set him down?
Sending him down. What do you mean by
No,
that?
no. Like settle him down, like
Settle
calm
down.
him.
Okay, all right. Sorry, that was language barrier. Okay, like I
Does
said,
he
you
try
can make a
to settle-
persuasion check if you want to. I mean, but that would be. I like to, as far as player interactions, I like to leave that to the players to roleplay that.
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah, like I
decide
said my
those things.
piece, and if he wants to stay,
Calm down, relax.
Did
You-
you
you
throw
go.
that
Oh, yeah,
snowball?
FK a second, guys. Hold on.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Okay? I get annoyed. Okay, I get agitated. I'm sorry.
dude,
I told you.
if you're gonna
Oh
yell
my
like
God.
that, something's gonna hear you.
Someone's gonna hear
I
us.
don't care. I'm just gonna
Then-
die. I'm running into the.
You know, you're not playing a mean guy. You're playing kind of just a weird berserker weirdo.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got death wish,
That's
so
what's
he's
Yeah,
got
but
death
remember, his death wish is he wants to die in a glorious battle, not
Glorious
just
battle,
any
not,
battle.
not a stupid battle. Like being like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to kill myself. I want to run into battle and be like, smack my head over the pipe.
Okay, so Aldrin, what do you do? I've already shared a map with you guys. You can see what you see.
Yep.
The sound is coming from over here somewhere. I don't know if you can see that arrow on the map. I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
So-
see it.
Yeah.
So you know Aldridge stealthed up there, and I followed about 30 feet behind him, unstealthed,
Oh,
but I just wanted to keep an eye on his back.
Yep, you're about. So I guess 30 feet would be probably more like this. You're looking into that mouth of that section there.
hmm
All right. So Aldrin, what do you do?
All right. I'm going to basically I need to get a better lay of how things look there. So what I would like to do is go ahead and stealth a bit further and see if I can see what's around that area. And while I'm passing by that little side passage thing there, I'll just take a quick glance down it. So,
It looks like the side passage connects to the rest, and so it's going to be kind of
Okay.
like it's going to lead into a larger chamber.
all right,
Let me get
and
my
then
tool. There
uh,
we go. So it's going to look kind of like this. It's opening up into a larger room.
okay.
If it'll load the mask, it's designed to be done. So yeah, so you could like say lurch your way up to here, and
Oh, I was okay.
is that something
I was gonna stick to the See how it looks like it's kind of shadowy on the other side.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah. Basically, I was just kind of glancing down that end, and I'm sticking to the shadows as best I can to stay back, and just to let people know, when you're saying you're staying about 30 feet back, each of these
Mhm.
squares, instead of being 5 feet like in D&D, these are 6-foot squares.
Mhm.
So you'd be about 5 squares back from me. If you're trying to do that.
Yeah, I'm
But-
just trying to keep you in eyesight. That's all.
But you would know that as being the Jarl's house, Carl, I did a lot of stuff for the Jarl.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just staying behind this wall, keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
All right, so Aldred, when you make your way up there, you see 5 figures near that.
All right.
Near that fire over there, that rather large fire they've built,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all kind of like laughing heartily, and you see you see a female woman matching the description of Brynhild. Brynhild is she's somewhat muscular because she's connected to the Shield Maidens. She often trains with them, but she definitely she wouldn't call herself a warrior by any means, and you see them all kind of around this fire down there, and she is also down there with them, bound up, and I'm just putting tokens out here right now, sorry.
hmm
I guess I need to find one.
Take your
for
time.
her. So B is going to be Brynhilda. Alright, so the T are the quote-unquote troll raiders. Y'all haven't figured that out yet. And these are humans that come from, if you heard, Aldred, you heard the name Jarl Thorkelson. That's a neighboring community, village, settlement, what have you. These men are loyal to. What do you do now that you possess this information?
I'm gonna stealth my way back out to everyone who should be waiting outside.
Alright. Okay, so you go back to everyone else, and you start to head back towards everyone else, and you see Heggie, and she kind of apparently came in to kind of I guess follow you or to keep an eye on you in case
Keep an
for
eye
your
on his
safety.
back.
So,
Yeah, for
so you
safety.
meet her first. Do you have anything to say about that?
Not in this cave. I motion out.
She gives him the heads up signal and goes out.
All right, cool. So all of you guys circle back out, and you guys can discuss what you see if you want to.
All right. Just throw myself out there, and I let him know what I saw, and I'm going to preface this with, we need to stay calm. Brunhilder's alive. Remember this.
Oh, she's alive.
We can honor the Jarl by saving his daughter.
Okay.
Primary objective, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So then I go into what I overheard.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that's going to make some people mad.
Yeah, Hakon gets visibly upset. And as Gunnar was before, he's now kind of trying to push past Gunnar. He'd be like, we gotta get in there. We've got to help her. We got to save her. This is for the Jarl. Like, and now he's trying
No,
to. run up.
Haggie's.
Whoa!
I'm
Wait,
following.
wait.
Stop.
Hold on. Haggy puts up her spear in front of everybody and says, "Patience. Let's do this the smart way."
Smarts farts.
And she's going to try to persuade you guys to stop.
Okay, do we need to roll like something?
No,
You can
don't.
use it as a player. Just kind of like I said, I don't really do required rolling off. Game and control of players. Just you can take that, and he's persuasive. We'll say that.
Yep.
In his argument, and you can decide.
Okay. Come on.
All right.
Will.
I tell them, look, it's always better to remember in battle. You guys use a shield wall, right? Or we'll work in a formation together.
Okay.
Remember this?
Yes.
Remember your
It sounds
training.
like Gunnar remembers, but he just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to live.
I'm sick of this shit. I want to go to Valhalla. I'm ready for glorious death.
And I'm gonna say, remember we have to help Broomhilda.
Brynhild.
Yeah.
We have to
All right.
make sure she's safe.
So I give him as best as I saw about what's in the cave there, and I'm gonna propose that I hide up in that little blump that's in the shadow there. I'm gonna hide up there. If they'll pull a distraction, that should attract them, and what I can do is make sure that I secure Brunhilde.
Do you
And,
mind putting an arrow to where you're talking about hiding?
Yeah, sure. All right, give me a sec.
I can distract them very well. I can put the fear of Odin into them.
Like that, somewhere in this, in that bump there.
Do you want to? Because you can still be like right here at the edge, so you don't have to travel as far.
Exactly, something like that.
'Cause
Basically,
the white there is basically. I believe that white there on the map is intentionally the firelight from the campsite because you
That's
see how
what
it cuts the. Yeah. So, I believe that if you stayed right there where my red marker is, that'd probably be a good hiding place. So.
I want to turn to Heggy and kind of like I turn her to the side and say, so if I die defending the Jarl's daughter, you think that'd get me in?
As long as it's a glorious battle.
Okay, lots of blood, got it.
all right.
And I'll say, what if I go up with you, Aldred, and I entangle them all and try to.
I explain out how close three of them are, and say basically that I'm proposing that what happens is I go set myself up there at the red arrow at this point, and basically you guys pull a distraction to draw the other people in, and perhaps minimize the amount of guards, if not get them all to come down. And
so Hakon says, why don't I come to here, and from here I can blast them with some of my missiles and draw them towards you, and then you can
I
attack
think
and
his
flank.
idea is to draw them out, not to him. He wants.
Yeah.
right.
Yes,
Basically,
but if I shoot from here, they'll draw towards me.
Yes, we want to draw
And
them
I can
towards
run,
us, not
and then
him.
I can run back.
well, it's a noble effort, Hakon, but I'm afraid with your leg the way it is, you might be a bit too slow, and they may overtake you sooner.
I can be a better distraction than you, Hakon.
But if we all work together, we may even be able to just take them out as they run down.
He can sneak in. I can distract them and draw them out. And we can ambush them here at the entrance.
Or we could try to draw them all out and let Aldred sneak in and bring her out safely. right? Like if we all come out here and make a big distraction, maybe they'll all come to us.
That is basically what I just said.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'd started saying by coming up here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But that the red arrow, basically I want them pulled down as far into the outside of that area as possible, to where hopefully they won't see me getting into Brunhilde, and that way I can try and make sure that we have her safe and secure and out of danger before hopefully before the shit hits the fan.
no, of course, which is why I was gonna run back.
Okay, then you guys need to
Right.
go ahead and start moving into positions and stuff. Have your
But
characters
you
start moving?
only-
You got a
Okay.
plan.
But remember,
the
you're laying,
thing
so
is,
you can't run back.
Akon, you only move 4 inches or
I-
4 squares.
I
Other
move
know,
people
six.
move 6.
Fine, I'll stay in the
Yeah.
back. Just make sure she's safe.
Just all of you stay here. He sneaks in. I
You
will
mind if I
distract
help one
them and
player
draw
real
them
quick
out.
or something?
Yeah.
Sure.
Heggy has fear. That could be pretty good. At
That
causing
was gonna be
chaos.
that was gonna be my distraction. I was
That
gonna
would've-
go in
yeah,
there,
you
cast
could've
fear
told
on
them
them,
that.
and
That
try
would've
to draw
helped a
them
little
out.
bit. But yeah, so fear is a
Well,
spell that can
yeah.
be cast in an area large burst template and cause
That's-
everybody to
yeah.
erupt in fear. So
Yeah,
that
that's
whole
what I was
area
gonna
would
tell.
be overcome with fear. So
That's also
That's-
why I said the entangle, because I had that spell.
But you have 4 movements, so it'd be hard to get that off. But I'm saying that's why I said I'm going to put the fear of Odin in them. That's basically why I said that. I was role playing it
Ah,
because I have 2 powers. I'm a magic user too.
All right. So is everyone okay with the plan?
yep.
This means people don't come up with me, because I need to make sure that I do
I'm-
this right.
I'll stay back.
all right.
How much time do you need to sneak in there?
Basically I'll be doing this as carefully as humanly possible.
You guys
and-
know that if I tell you what, if you guys know that if you step in to this alcove here, the wind will not be overbearing your hearing, and you can
Mhm.
hear Uldred if something goes bad. Does that make sense? Because you're out in
Yep.
the wind now on the mountainside where you're at. So if you step in just a little bit further, you can hear if something bad goes down.
So if we draw them out,
So,
draw
like,
them
you'll,
to here, we should
screams
be
will
fine.
notify you that Uldred failed, basically. If
Okay.
you're in that area.
Yep.
So
I just wanted to know how much time I would need before I go forward to cast my fear. Because I'm not following him right away. I'm just gonna let him do his thing, and then I'll go in there after like 5-10 minutes or whatever he needs. But Gunnar, do you understand the
you would
plan?
think it'd probably only take him a few minutes.
Yeah, it's all the sneaking and peeking. Got my one good eye. It's about to pop out, but okay. Whatever.
All right, Uldred, why don't you make a stealth roll for me?
All right.
All right, I am going to roll their notice, which they're surprisingly good at. But we'll see. Nope. Okay, so this is actually a good time to point out that on opposed rolls, it is essentially whoever gets the higher. So
Yep.
the whole 4 number goes out the window on opposed rolls. So
Yep.
I think you still have to get a 4 or higher though to succeed at what you're doing, but still opposed. So all right, so he sneaks up and he doesn't believe that the individuals inside the cave hear him. And a few moments later, Heggy, it will be your time to step forward and do your fear. Why don't you just move your token to where you need to be to do your fear? And I'll tell you if you're exposing yourself and need a notice roll.
Heggy, I would have suggested going up that side passage there.
Yeah, that's what we're probably going to be doing. I just want to read the range on fear.
Okay.
2 power points. Range is 2. Smarts times 2.
Yeah, smarts times 2. Your smarts is 6. So that means
6.
12 inches. So so it'll get to basically the center of the room from there. we'll just go ahead and call it good.
Oh,
right there.
I was gonna say like
So
the
if I
other
get here,
there. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
and would I be able to cast it from this position, or do I have to stick
You'll have
out?
to peek out. I believe it has line of sight. Let's double check. Yeah, I'm gonna say that it still has to have line of sight, but I'm gonna give you make a stealth roll. We'll have to give you a +4 though, because you're just peeking out just enough to be able to just to see your eyes. Just let your eyes see your target.
Horrible.
So even with a 4, that's minus. It's a 3.
Mhm.
You want to spend it, Benny?
Yeah.
All right.
So I re-roll it, right?
There you go. That's a success with
better.
a raise. You sneak out, and so you're gonna cast fear. Is that your plan?
Yes.
Okay, so fear. First off, it'll cost you 2 power points to do it, and it
Yep.
calls in a large burst template. Now, in this case, we don't have to. We don't have to We don't have to put it out there because it is much larger than all 5 of those guys. I'm not even gonna bother with it. But every creature in the template will be affected by the fear. Can't just pick and choose. So Brynhilda might flip out, but you guys can recover her.
Mhm.
So I want you to make a faith check, and you'll do that by going to your powers tab and just rolling your power there where it says it's got a 10 beside it on the left-hand side of the power. Do you want to use Benny?
Can I raise the power points in this, or no?
You can buy edges that increase your power points, yes, and we can actually.
No,
go
I'm
over
saying,
that.
can I spend more points into the fear?
No, not in this particular
No.
ability.
Doesn't do it like powers.
No, your raises is how it's going to show how badass it is.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, you actually rolled a raise. So that means that anyone trying to resist you is going to take a -2 to their resistance. So we're going to roll some resistance rolls. Oh, I did it wrong. Well, it did that. I did it wrong. No, it did right. Okay.
Mhm.
So, okay, so 3 failed. And failed pretty miserably, I think. Yes. So they are absolutely panicked. 3 are absolutely panicked. So we're going to say that triggers the scene. The combat actions for them. The 2 that are left over. The others are just panicking. Alright. So, let's see here. Now we'll deal cards. Alright. Gunnar,
Okay.
you hear from where you're at. Did you move into the cavern where I told you could hear stuff, or are you still outside?
I'm like, we're supposed to stay outside or move inside?
We're
Yeah,
gonna stay
move
in
in.
that entrance right there.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
It's supposed to be
You
up here,
hear
yeah.
the screaming of panicking men making sounds with their voices you wouldn't think they'd even do in front of their parents, or like when they're panicking. That's what I'm saying. And that's what you hear inside the room. Do you do anything? Are you gonna hold or something, or what do you do?
Let's see. We should catch these guys where they're off balance. Let's go in for an attack. So I say, if they're feared and stuff, we should catch them off balance.
All right. So you're gonna
Okay.
hold, but you're just talking to everybody, trying to get their line of thinking. Okay.
Yeah. See what they're.
All right. Rolf,
Who's on hold?
what do you do? You're reacting to these screams and stuff inside there. Do you want to hold as well, or do you decide you want to go in there?
I don't think he's here right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He told me that. Duh. All right. I'll have Rolf act. Rolf. He's arrogant. He's going to come forward a little bit to see what's happening,
Bastard.
and he's going to do it. Try to do it stealthily, but he's going to do it.
Well, if I see him go, I'm going as well. So
All right.
Does he see me?
Does he see who? Helgi? Heggy?
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, how did you cast your fear? I mean, was it like a sermon about Odin and vengeance and
Pretty
the
much. I
dishonorable-
would be screaming and screaming at the top of my lungs, so they would notice me, so I can get them to chase me.
very cool. Do you? Oh, actually, you would have the chance to move back when you did that. Do you? After
Oh
you
yeah,
move
I'm
through,
running
do you
back
run
my full spear.
Okay,
my
so
full
when
speed.
when Rolf gets there in this region, Heggy is returning, and so you guys, you're all together now. What are your
Back
characters
up!
doing?
Back up!
Backing up. So everybody kind of just shifts back, and we'll say we get back to here for
Yeah, then we
it
ambush him
plays
from
out,
there.
and then so the trolls. So some of these guys are just flying outright panicked. So we'll say this one is. We'll say that one's there. We'll say this one's panicked, and he moves his pace this way. He just panicked. This one moves in this corner and just hides like a little.
He's afraid of an old woman.
And this one is just going to run this way, and he's going to do a run action. And then these two kept their wits about them, and they all ready their weapons. That's their action.
Okay.
And Hakon, what do? You believe that there are screams and footsteps heading this way.
Okay, so I'll go 1, 2, 3. So from here, I can see that one raider.
Yes, you can.
I will just cast my my fireball ball. Just as soon as I see him, my hand just twitches and raises up towards him. I'll just roll it once against him.
Remember, you can before you roll damage.
Oh, yep.
Well, first you gotta So on your damage, before you roll damage, you can increase the power points put into it to make it deal more damage. If you look down at
Yeah,
the bottom,
that's
past
what I was
additional
trying to do.
bolts, you can
Okay.
increase it to 3d6 for 2 power points as opposed to 2d6. Just
That's what I was trying to do, to give them a
yeah,
higher.
fear doesn't work that way.
negatives.
Fear with raises it can be more effective, as it was
Well,
when they panicked.
Okay, because the way that I read it is just each power point is its separate missile.
No, so you're reading it wrong. So that's like different things you can do if you're firing it. If you just fire one bolt, because you'll see there's
Yeah.
2 subheadings. If you
Okay.
want to fire one bolt at the very bottom, it says additional damage. You may cast a single
Oh,
bolt at
yes,
3d6
okay.
for 2 power points. So you
Okay.
can do more than 2d6 is basically what I'm telling you per bolt.
Okay, so I will do that.
All right, cool. So because you hit with a raise, so this is gonna be.
And you did
amazing.
damage with a raise.
Yeah,
Okay.
sweet.
And
So
that
amazing on the
will-
damage. Why don't you describe blasting
Wow.
this guy down?
Yeah, so like I said, so I've got this rage in me because, all I want to do is help my old friend, and as soon as I turn the corner and I see this guy just, I've been told the story by Eldred as what's happening in here, and my hands again just come together, and this intense flame comes out of my fingers, and it goes right through this guy's mouth, and you've all seen that that movie where all the lights come out of the eyes and the mouth and the nose, and it just shoots up, and then he disintegrates. That's what essentially happens to him.
Very cool. And what also I'll add to that a little bit. So he disintegrates, and there's that column of ice behind him, and you see the burning imprint of a man's silhouette in the column of ice
Nice. Excellent.
behind him.
Don't
Alright.
forget to back up.
Now, Aldred, John, what do? All the guys are panicking around him except 2 of them in the room who have readied themselves with weapons.
I go on hold.
Okay. All right. Heggy, what do?
Well, I go in front of Hulk. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 2 more movement.
All right.
And I scream, Odin, Ragnarok is upon us!
All right.
Fenris is coming! Get out of the cave before you get killed by the wolves! And then run back over to my other 2
All right.
attackers.
Cool. All right. All right. So, well, before we roll the initiative, yeah. So, those of you who held before initiative rolls over, do you want to do anything else? I think there was.
I think it
Aldred,
was
do
just
you want
Aldred.
to?
I just have my
at the end of
weapons
your turn?
ready.
Yeah.
I'll
It's you
ready my
again.
weapons this
It's
turn.
you again at the top of the initiative order. Still
Yep.
holding.
Yep. So I'll just hit the hold key.
All right.
Ralph, which is not here.
Rolf is going to. He's going to move up. And I'm going to have him make a run just to get the distance he needs. Multi-action run.
And shoot
Oh,
at
yeah,
somebody
and
with a
he's gonna
bow.
shoot at one of the guys that's not panicked with a bow. So that's going to be at a -4 because he had to run up there and shoot.
That'd be a -2 for the multi-action.
Move, run, shoot. 3 actions.
No,
That's 2 for each
movement
one.
doesn't count against you for an action.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. My bad. All right.
Yep.
So -2.
Mm-hmm.
Did that wrong. It said -42. All right. All right. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to use a Benny with him to re-roll. Because this could give Uldred a way in there without an enemy between them, him and Brunhild. He could stop
Yep.
holding and try to just get in there.
That's the idea.
All right. Still got that fatigue. And the good thing about beanies is you can keep rolling, right, Boffin?
Unless for some reason you say they can't or they run out.
I don't think there is, yeah. So he's going to try to roll it again. He's out of bennies, though. Here we go. And roll a 6 and a 5.
There we go.
8 gets a raise. So that means this damage is going to be increased because of the rage. I'm sorry, the raise. Okay, so now that guy's shaken, which is a good thing, because now he can't act. Hey, Con, what do you do?
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. I come up here, and from here I can see all 3 of these guys, and so I'm going to target all of them.
All right, so you're going to use a blast on all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
the way
So
this
you
works-
said
Yeah, so the way this works is the way you'll do it is you'll do like you were before. You'd pick up the dice like you were attacking before with powers, but instead of just clicking it and rolling it, you'll pick it up in your hand.
Yep.
And you'll right click twice until you've got 2 extra skill dice in your hand.
okay.
So you'll see in your hand when you click and hold, you'll see a
Yeah, I've
D12
got
and a
4.
D6. You'll get 3 D12s and a D6 in your hand.
Yeah,
And
and then I
just
just
roll
roll
the
that in the chat box here, right?
Mhm.
You only get one. Look, your wild die aced.
And now I just rolled my damage, and I'm going to use 2 again.
Yes, just roll it the same way again, and it will automatically roll that raise on that one guy. So
Okay. So they're all shaken, and the one that was already shaken got a wound.
yep,
Mhm.
very cool.
And so I
The one
come
that was
out.
already shaken actually is gonna die because they're minions. They are not wild cards. So
So this is like D&D in where everything is like 6 seconds right around?
yeah, roughly.
Yeah. Okay. So I run up. I finish blasting this one guy. I'm kind of like snicker as I run past the imprint of him on that ice wall there,
Mhm.
and you just see my hand, just like a quick motion, like 1, 2, 3, just like a bolt, 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 and just just nails them all.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. All right, and Heggy, what do you do?
Run up to here. Can I throw my spear? Or is
I
it
do not think spear is throwing. I think it's a javelin in this game that's throwing.
okay?
You
So
got
then
one
I-
eye though, anyways. No, you're Heggy. Sorry.
No, yeah, I don't have one eye. I was gonna say, I'm not Odin. So I guess I just stand here and scream and try to taunt them to come at me. Come get me! I'm here.
Okay, so taunt is actually a thing you can do in this game. Balfred, I'm doing some
Okay.
prep work. Why don't you tell them what taunting does?
Basically, taunt. It's basically draws them onto you a little bit and kind of throws them off a bit.
All right, so then I'm doing that. What do I
If I
gotta
remember
roll?
correctly,
Or I
taunt
just
is
do it?
actually a skill. So if you don't have it, it's unskilled. But
Yes, it is a skill.
and it's against smarts, right? I believe.
I do believe so. I'm double checking right now.
Thank you, sir.
Now, how would that work if they're already shaken?
Well, they gotta remove their shaken anyway.
Well, it might draw them as well. It's taunt. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So the one that is already that are shaken, if they come out shaken, they'll be drawn by the taunting. So if they're just shaken, they're doing their purpose, not doing anything to get Brynhild. So
And now, one more quick question, Bofrin. When are you able to use your held action? Like, is he able to run in there at any time now because he's been holding his action?
yep.
Yep.
Anytime before this turn ends, and that's why
Yeah,
like
pretty
at the end of
much.
the last turn said you want to
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just wondering.
Technically, I can hold into the next round. What it is though, like if these guys weren't like feared and shaken, is it would be I believe an agility roll opposed to see who goes first.
Well, I was just kind of thinking that now that that they're all shaken and that one guy's feared, why don't you take your action to run in there and try to calm her?
Yeah, and cut her free or whatever.
Exactly. Like try to get to her before anybody else has a turn. You know what I mean? Before those trolls get those turns, the troll raiders.
The other trick on this here is I was gonna let you guys get all the act and hopefully,
Okay.
draw what you could, and then, basically it's a matter of getting up there, getting her free, because I won't have enough movement necessarily to
run back.
to get it. Yeah, exactly. That's
Okay.
what I need the clear path for, is not just getting up to her. It's a matter of getting her back,
Getting
so
her
that
out.
way
Okay.
extraction.
That's why I wanted to lead all of them to the entrance, but you guys all ran in.
Okay.
So we ended up coming into the cave anyway, so. So, what do I just roll unskilled taunting check?
Yeah, that's what you do. Let's think about D4.
Nice.
There you
ace
go.
That, you can ace that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I got a 7.
Very cool.
Two
So that means
raises.
I'm gonna roll their smarts, which is pretty crappy, and
Mm-hmm.
see if they're going to try to if they realize what you're doing.
Pretty
They
much
got
saying,
D4
come at me, bro!
smarts, so they're pretty crappy, and they rolled a 6, but still not high enough. So they're drawn by your taunting. All right. So
It's my turn.
Gunnar, you're actually
Why
Okay.
you come running in?
So so run increases your pace. Does it double it, or how?
run. The way run works is you'll move your pace, and then you'll roll a running die, which is normally a D6 unless you're lame, and then you add that many squares to your roll, and you can ace that running dice, just like any other die.
Let's see. Where's the running dice?
It's beside your pace on your character sheet. It's that little square, brown square.
Oh,
Just pick that up
okay.
and roll it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna run my pace. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, and
Roll your dice. You get
Look
another
at that.
6.
You get to roll it
Yeah,
again.
cool.
You roll the ace. Roll it again.
roll the
Yeah.
pace one, the running one again. Okay.
Yeah, because you
Oh my
rolled
God! You're
got another
blinded
ace.
by your bloodlust.
Wow.
Just,
There you go.
blinded by his bloodlust.
Roll again!
Roll it.
Do I
I
roll
didn't
again?
think a run die can
Yeah.
ace,
I
because
roll
otherwise
again?
it would auto
You
ace.
can ace, can it?
Okay, so how many? So I can 10,
Yeah,
20.
it can ace every
24.
die roll. I've never heard that run die can ace.
Is that like 32? Is that 32?
No, that's you got 12 plus 6, 18 plus 2, 20. It kept
20.
adding the
So
plus 6. I don't know why it kept
I
doing
was
that.
thinking maybe that's enough to
Yeah.
run in and grab Brihilda and come back out. Maybe let me see.
I think
1,
that
2,
is enough.
5, 6,
That's
8, 9.
you already moved
10,
6, so you get
13, 14, 15.
14 more.
I can move back 1 square ahead
You can
of
move-
where I am if I
You
go
move a
back
total
in.
of 14 right now because you already moved 6.
Yeah, I don't think the run die aces. Otherwise, think about how much crazy movement
I mean,
people
you
would
can
be able to
find
get.
it, but I don't think there's anything that says it doesn't. But
Yeah, so I should be able to move 18,
why don't we
right?
move you 12 and let's play it that way because there's at least a dispute on it. So let's move you 6
Yeah.
more,
5,
and then
6.
we'll go with that ruling for now. I've
Okay,
never had
6
anyone
more.
ace it, and this never come up in my games.
Okay.
So, and
See,
I've played like a
is the
year-long
sys-
campaign. So,
Remember, the
So I
system
can
takes into account acing. So if he rolled his run
true,
die from
true. That's a good
from
point.
there, it should ace.
That's a
You
good
know,
point.
if it does that.
That's a good point. So you run up. Gunnar instead runs up to the one that's shaken.
Okay, yeah.
What do you do?
And feared. That one's shaken and
Yeah.
feared.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slay this bastard. Oh, you're really gonna get it.
Look at that.
Ah, damn it.
You missed him.
Miss, can I use a Benny and
You
try
can
again?
use whatever you want, buddy, on base.
Wouldn't that be at a -4 because he's used like run already?
It'd be a
Or
-2.
-2.
Okay, I'm gonna do. Hit.
It's still a hit on them with a -2.
Ooh, 8.
Is it -2 to the damage too?
No, just
Incapacitated. He's out.
Yep, he's gone.
He dead.
Just a blood stain.
I just
What's your
split
turn?
that guy down the middle. Okay, that's it.
All right.
Yeah,
Now it is their turn to act.
I did taunt
4
him.
is panicking, cowering in the corner. And 5 is
They can
unshaken,
remove.
but he's been taunted. He's been taunted by Heggy, so he moves her direction, weapon drawn,
Yep.
towards her, and he gets to his edge of his movement.
And to
And,
clarify on
uh,
taunt, it gives a +2 to attacker's actions against him, and whatever other effects you decide to apply as a game master.
So like he's taunted him, so this guy will get +2 attacks on against Heggy.
No, he doesn't get +2 against Heggy. Like attacks against him get +2 because he's been insulted and
Gotcha.
he's
Oh,
been
so-
drawn out, so he's off balance,
Okay.
so to speak.
That's
He is
awesome. I
going
get
to
+2.
Move and then throw an axe at Heggy. So, misses.
And this,
Okay, that's actually a good time to talk about this. Ranged
Yep.
attacks in this system. Ranged attacks with the bow are awesome and easier to pull off, or even guns and anything like that, because all you got to hit is a target number 4.
Yep.
The idea is that you can't dodge a bullet. You can't really dodge an arrow in real life. You can't really do anything to dodge them. The penalties are just range, cover. So in the modern and futuristic games of this game, people can die really fast with guns because they deal way more damage. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So just a
I
target. number
realized
4,
that in
target number 4.
Rifts.
Yep.
I
So,
are shooting people with my little laser pistol and
all right.
just
Now,
killing them instantly.
okay. So Aldred, you held your action.
I think we are good enough at this point to because everyone's directly away from Brunhilde.
Mhm.
That'll give me a chance to move over there.
All right. Move your character over.
Free her.
Okay, cutting her loose. All right.
Yep. How many people did we have any pelts left over? We had 6 wolves, 5 wolves?
You had a pelt
6
over you on a
wolves.
wrapper like in a wolf, like a pelt or something. Like that,
Yep.
Warm.
Toss a
All right.
pelt on her, so she's, doesn't have to be right by the fire.
All right.
And basically, I'm going to bring her back into that little nook alcove on the next turn there.
Very cool.
Or I'm going to start
You can
motioning her
use
to head that
you
way.
Can use the rest of your running.
I could
run
just,
does.
yeah, I could just run it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, reading the rules on run,
Yeah.
it just says you can move an additional D6. Doesn't mention
it's
8.
not a trait
all.
roll. That makes
Oh,
sense.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not a trait.
Thank you for the clarification on that. All right.
All right, so I'd moved 1, 2, 3, 4,
And if anybody's
5.
wondering, I'm actually the aide for Savage Worlds. He's the professor. So,
All right, so basically, I'm gonna be dragging her. So if you want to assign some type of penalty to the running, that's fine. Or
there's no
the
penalty.
amount of movement I can.
Nope.
Okay, so she will come with me to. I'll put myself here, and I'd like her to my left.
So you can like take her and like maybe violently throw her around in the shadows.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Okay. All right. Sweet. Now.
And take my. You were gonna want to take me off hold at this point.
There we go.
Ba-
All right.
And if someone wanted to interrupt me at that point, you'd request an interrupt, or like would have been an opposed agility roll.
Okay. So you guys hear a voice that you haven't heard before, coming from behind you guys, in the caves. I'm sorry, outside the caves. And you see the silhouette of a man in the darkness behind you. Well, I'd say Rolf would see it maybe, and the rest of you probably wouldn't, but you can definitely hear it. And you hear the booming voice of a man y'all know as Jarl Thorkelson, and he says, "Who's in here trying to take my wench? Leave Brynhilda alone, and I'll spare you." And at that, I'm going to do this.
Oh, he got a joker. Bastard.
And Rolf is going to move here. And he's going to do a multi-action, because he's going to try to fire at Jarl and then dart back for cover.
Maybe we should have stayed at the entrance.
If we had stayed at the entrance, they would have been right at us.
Yeah, but then we would have seen him coming.
And remember, they had to go through 2 choke points.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he hits Jarl Thorkelson with an arrow, but it does not seem to hinder him. It must have caught him in his armor. And he is going to... Well, we're going to see if he has enough running die to get back, actually. 4. Yeah, he gets back to here. All right. The Raider is going to draw his axe, his other axe. Oh, Aldred's right there. He's going to draw his other axe. But you've taunted him.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's an agility roll, isn't it, Balford, to pull away from someone in melee?
No, it's not an agility roll. Basically, when he moves, I could, quote, get an attack of opportunity type of deal thing.
Thought it was an agility to avoid that.
I don't think you can. Unless, like, he makes a dedicated action
like a disengage kind of action.
Yeah, I think there's a disengage action, if I remember
that was
right.
the agility roll I was talking about, is the disengage thing. Okay, so, all right, so I don't have the Troll Raider. He readies his other weapon, his other axe, and turns to face Aldred. And
Well,
that's going to be a multi-action because he's doing 2 actions. And he's going to take a -2, right? Because he's taunted.
Yeah.
You're looking at number 4 is up in the top left.
Yeah, he's up in the corner right now.
Bad. Okay, yeah, he's still panicking. All right, so minus.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if you were so panicking.
All right, so this one is going to try to attack, but he's got a total of -4 against Aldred. Missed wildly.
Yep.
And you guys see these other soldiers coming in from the rear behind Jarl Thorkelson. And they march in. They're more well equipped than these other raiders, and they start making their way into the room. And that one is going to see Hakon at that corner and make an attack on Hakon.
It hits Hakon.
Hakon has bad AC.
You are shaking.
Hakon is shaken now.
Yep.
And The others, I'm just going to move them in because they're going to kind of move into a well-formulated march.
Formation.
And some of them are actually going to go through this little... I'll go over here. And Hegi, you see the exit behind you guys is closing in as Jarl Thorkelsson's men, wielding axes, come in. What do you do?
Moving here, I'm gonna cast Fear on all the guys. Odin shall smite thee all!
Badass if this works.
So do I have to target anybody?
No, just roll it. I'll roll their opposing spirits. You could do it that way, but it's fine. Okay, so they're going to make the spirit rolls, but this time they don't have a -2 because you didn't get a raise.
Okay. Just to answer also about that, it's called withdrawing from close combat. Basically, if he chose to take a defend option, that would give him a +2 to his parry while retreating, but he wouldn't be able to do any other action except for withdrawing.
Parry. Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. So 3 of them succeed. I'll go by order. So 1, 2, and 5 succeed. 3 and 4 fail. Alrighty.
Even Thorkelson failed, or he wasn't in the
Oh
radio?
yes, Thorkelson. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so Thorkelson will make a spirit roll. He's a wild card, so no, he doesn't. He doesn't fail. He still has that Joker bonus.
Yep.
All right, Gunnar. There's enemies, and you're not near them trying to kill them. What do you do?
Gunner's
Here,
gonna
one of them.
run, and he's gonna get to this one and target him and attack.
I should have did a
Now remember, did you add in your +2 for him being taunted?
A +2, I
Okay,
believe, would
okay,
get it.
let's
Let me check.
Oh, okay, cool.
A +2.
That would put him at a 6.
Nope, it doesn't get it. One
Oh,
short.
so
that-
then hit.
Nope, one short.
His parry's a 7.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Hey Con, what do you do?
I'm shaken. So how do I roll? What
Roll
do I
your
roll
spirit
for that?
dice.
Sorry, real quick before you do that, Gunnar. Remember, you have I should have went over this more with you, but now we're in combat. It's appropriate. Hakon, Gunnar, you have an edge called Sweep. Sweep.
Oh, okay. So
That is very good against groups of enemies.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
getting
I was
yourself
looking at that, so
Surrounded
it-
by enemies is a good
So,
thing.
would that would just like my normal attack would hit normally, but I would also get a sweep attack that would hit adjacent targets at a
As
-2.
your attack, you would instead do a sweep, and it would be essentially attack all adjacent enemies at -2 instead of your normal
Yeah,
attack. So,
That's your
Oh.
main attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, yeah, I might do that next.
All
Yeah.
right, all right, sorry, Hakon. Go ahead, my bad.
No worries. So I am no longer shaken then, right?
Yep, you are no longer shaken. You didn't get you didn't get a raise, so you're gonna have a -2
Yep.
to do anything because it's multi-action shaken, because you got out of shaken and then you did your thing. So you'll have a -2 on whatever you do now.
Okay, so I was going to entangle them.
Sure. All right.
So just
and
make your roll
for
at a
two power
-2.
points. Yep.
Yeah. So you're gonna do it at 2 power points.
Yeah, I know at 4 power points, so I
You're
can
just gonna
do it.
target one person.
No, at 4 power points, so I can target all 3 of them.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. You can get all 3 of them there.
Yeah.
All right. So that'd be 4 points, and then they would make a opposed by their agility. You're gonna get a -2 for this.
Yeah, I put a
You got
-2
an
on there.
amazing roll, so 9. So, and if they get a, all right, their agility is. All right, 2 of them failed. One of them moved like a damn cat.
Okay, so 2 of them can't move or use any strength or agility actions.
Yes, and the way it works with area of effect attacks like that, when you make an agility roll to avoid it, like a grenade or something like that, when you make the agility roll as part of it, you move to the edge of that template.
Okay.
So it's a more realistic. It's kind of a more realistic way of handling a fireball in D&D. It's always kind of weird how you make your dexterity save, but you don't move. In
Okay,
Savage
and
Worlds,
is
you
that
actually move
guy?
back? So 3 moved back, and you affect the other 2. I'm sorry, not.
Okay, so as he moves back, that's great because I can now move and get away.
Okay. Very cool. So these 2
But I'll
are
go to
entangled.
there.
We'll put a note right there.
And that will be my turn.
Alright, very cool.
Actually, I was gonna say, hey, Con,
yeah,
if you
so-
wanted to step around that edge, you would add into the gang up bonus on the guy who's between Gunnar
Here?
and I. Yep.
Yeah,
There.
Perfect.
Okay. And so what happens is essentially I this guy comes and he runs up and he smacks me with whatever he was attacking me with. And as I do that, you see like my eyes, instead of the fire red, they go like these like dark green. And I raise my hands up, and these these rocky spires come around and entangle these 2 guys as one of them jumps away.
Very.
Did you mean Icy Spire?
No, it's a rocky ground
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
no, it's Shadow.
underneath. It's well,
But
no,
your-
yeah, but it's
your
rock
effect is
underneath all
ice.
the stone.
Yeah,
You
it's
have an
actually a
ice.
good time to
Oh.
talk about something called trappings.
Yep.
So the way
Oh, okay,
Arcane
I
backgrounds work,
I see that there.
the way Arcane's
Okay.
backgrounds work is you just kind of establish when you're GM, when you're making a character, what his trappings are, and they're meant to be kind of a limitation as well, like narratively, to prevent you from
Okay.
using powers in some situations. But in this case, we would just describe it as like a frosty spire. Like
Sure, yeah.
like
That,
floats
so
out of the
so
ground
what
and
I'll say
collapses
is
on
like
them.
the snow around them swirls up, and like it becomes wet and like turns to ice around their feet and arms.
Very cool. Very cool.
There we go.
Aldred, what do you do?
All right, so I'm gonna take advantage of this sweet gang up bonus that we got here, and try and stick my axe in this guy a bit there.
All right.
All right, so. And let's go ahead and do that. That'll definitely hit.
Thank goodness for the gang up bonus.
Exactly. And let's hope we do a little better on this damage here.
Ooh.
Meh.
Unharmed.
There you go. That's what it is sometimes.
You can re-roll on a lot of stuff, but damage, unless there's a special setting rule
There
in
are
place.
things you can do in this game called settings rules. Lots of modifications you can do to it in the book, the core book. So one of those is reroll damage rolls. So.
Yep.
All right. Heggy, what do? You got enemies closing in from behind. Your allies are in front of you trying to take down the last of the raiders and capture Brunhilde. What do you do?
By Odin's beard, you shall not have our heir! And she's going to do a multi-attack. Not attack. Multi-action. And
Okay, you might want to stop
throw in
because
necklaces.
you remember you
fine.
crossed you exited a square of someone who oh wait, no, they can't do
No,
agility
they're
actions because they're
Yeah,
locked.
those guys are locked.
Those
That's
are
why I
okay.
moved them.
Sorry.
So yeah, I knew that. That's why I ran by him. So I'm gonna kick Snow and the guy to my left in his face. So
Very
what do I
cool.
roll for that one?
Yes. So that would be, I believe it's agility, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like an agility trick.
Fail. We'll re-roll it.
Yeah, okay.
Last penny. Still a fail. And will
Can I
attack-
give him a Benny of
uh,
mine?
No, can't do that.
No, you
unfortunately.
can't
That is
do
a,
that.
that is a
I
setting
wish.
rule, though. You can do that in some games. And we were actually supposed to add a multi-action penalty for that, but that's fine. So make your
Yeah.
attack at the one you're going to take, but you get the -2. Unfortunately,
Mm,
your
so yeah.
spear is deflected away rather easily from
Mhm.
him. Hakon, enemies approaching. You've iced some of them. There's more coming. What do you do?
So from here, can I see Jarl Thorkinson?
I'll say with cover, but yeah, you can see him.
If I were to move closer, can I see him better, or with all the people around, would it always be cover?
What are you wanting to do? Because that'd make this probably easier.
So I would like to use my stun trappings on him.
Okay, actually, you don't take cover penalties from spells, so you can.
Oh,
still
okay.
easily cover. Yeah.
Okay, so perfect.
Also,
so-
kind of a question is
Yep.
the Troll Raider going to take a little opportunity attack here? Or?
I forgot about that. Yes, I'm gonna have him.
Yep.
Do that. Step away. All
Sorry,
right.
Farrad, I have to try and be
no,
fair.
No, that's completely fine.
Thank you for catching that. I don't know why I didn't roll it right, but okay. Yes, I think a 5 hits you, right?
Let me see.
Yes, parry's 5. Yep.
Gunner's battle right now. He's really mad because his fight is looking poor. Odin's gonna look down upon him.
Oh my God, that
Oh,
raised
wow.
twice. Okay, so that's actually a good time to talk about the lethality of this game sometimes. So sometimes someone can roll really good
Mhm.
and raise multiple times, and you can get really effing hurt.
He gave you
So-
2 wounds. You gonna soak it?
Yeah, so that's another use for beanies. Okay, another use for
Yep.
beanies is that you can, if you hit the
So
beanie
yeah,
button,
I'll use a Benny to
you
soak
get
that.
to roll to try to soak. It's a Vigor roll, and just click that button where it says use a soak. There you go.
Yeah, I got a raise there,
Look at
so
that.
11.
Look at that.
Yeah, you soaked it all.
So you can actually describe it however you want, but it's like in some way it didn't hurt you as bad.
So this guy, he slashes. What kind of weapon does he
it's
have?
an axe. Like just
So
a
he
battle axe
he
thing.
slashes his axe and it goes into my shoulder, but as it does, I kind of just like I shrug up, and magically you see these kind of pins and needles, almost like that motion as my skin kind of pulls back together,
Very
and
cool.
and I run
Cool.
forward and I yell in this boom. In this, and you see these concussive shards, almost like a sonic forcing boom, come shooting out of my mouth over at Jarl.
Very cool. You're gonna use the stun power.
Yep.
Okay,
And that
Raising it.
rate.
works. Let's see.
So it
Okay,
stops
so
those
medium
within
burst
a
template. It can
burst.
affect.
Yep.
It can affect.
It's gonna affect all of those 3 of them. Yeah. So number
And-
5, the number
Vigor
1,
rolls.
and the Jarl.
Cool.
Do I have to
And you
roll
got a
2?
raise, so they're gonna be at a -2.
And no, is it I choose, right?
I'm sorry.
Do I choose, or does that happen to Heggy as well?
Oh, it affects everybody in the area.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
He's like, I don't care about you.
No, it's not that. It's just
That's
gonna
sweet,
it's
man.
gonna help. It's gonna help the group. Everything's
This is a Vigor.
Yeah,
Vigor
you get a
roll
-2, and that's actually a good time to mention. If you can apply your own penalties by putting them in that that modifier star down there.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not stunned.
All right. So we'll do the 2 guards. All right, so the 2 guards are stunned, and then him. Let's do- Nope, not stunned.
even with the raise, eh? Damn.
No. If
Yep.
he got a 4, yeah, he succeeded.
Okay.
He's got a high agility, I bet.
Wait,
And then
actually,
with that,
he got an 11. Sorry, not 11. He got an 8.
I had an 8.
Has to get a 4 higher Balfrin, or has to beat the caster? I'm trying to remember.
Was it opposed roll?
No, it just says make an agility roll. You're right. It does not say opposed roll. Yep. Yeah, so he succeeds.
So he's stunned as well, right?
No, he's not stunned.
Oh,
If it
no,
says
he rolled
an
opposed
11.
roll instead of make an agility roll, then in this case it said make an agility roll. So
Okay.
sorry, not agility roll, vigor
So-
roll. So all he's got to do is
I
make
will
a
then-
4. So, all right. But
I'll
they
then
are
take the
shaking.
rest
Let
of my
me make sure I put that
movements.
on them. House guard.
I'll take the rest of my movement and come back over here.
All right, very cool.
We shaken or stunned?
They should be stunned. So stun shocks these
Stun
with
makes
medium
you
burst.
shaken. Yeah.
Yep.
In this game.
Okay, so I'm shaking too then.
Yeah, you're shaking.
The
as
good
well.
news is that shaken people
Doesn't
don't
say
add to gang
agility.
up bonuses.
It doesn't say
Mhm.
agility rolls. It says vigor
Yeah,
rolls.
sorry, I rolled vigor. I just kept saying agility.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But all right, so so the first one is still shaking. So yay for that, right? All right, so and then
Yeah,
2
we're
is
frozen.
he is restrained by your Hakon's
Yeah.
entanglement spell. So let me check and see how they get out of that. Break free by making a strength or agility roll to break free. So he's going to spend an action trying to break free with a strength roll.
Now, do they have to beat his number or the 4?
You're not entangled. This is the entangled on the other two. You're fine.
Yep.
All right. So that one does not break free. Neither does that one. Nice. Crowd control for the win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one is going to move in here, seize the situation, and is going to try to run.
Hey,
Oh, look
Gunner.
at that. He needed that. Into there.
I
And
can do a
attack
sweep
with a
now.
-2 penalty to Gunnar. Roll the 1. You know what? I got
Nice.
GM bennies. It's a good time to talk about these.
That's right.
So GM
Oh.
bennies are a thing I have. I have a number equal to the number of players in the game. So if there's 4
Okay.
players, I have 4 GM bennies. So I'm spending a GM benny here.
Okay.
He's going to roll again to try to hit you.
If I remember right, you get 1 plus your player
Look
number,
at that.
don't you?
8 plus 7.
He
No, you
hit
just
you.
get number
Oh,
equal to
he
your
hit.
players because you're not going to ever play by yourself.
Okay.
Well, no, I meant like you actually add a one to it also, and then like wild cards also. I think.
Oh yeah, wild cards get 2.
yeah.
Yeah, per person.
Uh-huh.
No, it's just 1 for every player you got. All right, so
Okay.
all right, so that is an amazing hit with a raise. Let's see how that goes.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see, Mr. High Toughness here.
You take a wound.
14 damage. So do you want to take that damage, or do you want to try to soak
Uh,
it? Here's the
would that
thing:
be
you've only
one-
got
would
one Benny left, and it's only 1 wound.
That's only 1 wound. I'm just gonna take the wound.
Okay. The thing
Now
though is
remember-
with a wound is that if you're getting a wound, you're always getting shaken too. So that
Yep,
means that you'll
you're
have to roll
always-
next turn to get
Mm.
out.
I might want to save
And
the Benny.
Your
So yeah.
wounds put you at -2 to all your rolls, or -1 to all
It's a
your rolls.
You
minus
think I
1
should
for
use
every
my
wound, yeah.
Benny, or you think I should use my Benny, or?
That's up to you.
I'll just use my Benny, and if I die, I die.
Okay.
My Benny.
So
Just
then
chance
hit
them
the
out,
so-
get hit
hit the
again, the rest
soak.
is the same, you know.
Yeah.
So on the front on your skills tab, hit the soak button.
Okay, let's see.
It'll be in your wound section.
Oh, okay. I see it. Okay.
You
It
used your
says-
Benny, so you can't do it now because you already used the Benny.
No, I thought I was supposed to use the Benny
Fix it.
to.
I'll fix it.
Okay.
You're supposed to hit the
I
soak
did it for
button,
you.
not the Benny.
Oh,
button.
okay.
I did it for
Sorry.
you, don't worry about it. You soaked. You're still shaking, but you're
Okay.
not wounded anymore.
Okay.
So the way that works is like, so like when you roll the vigor roll, your target number was 4, and for each step over that and success, you would reduce it by 1. So if you had 1 wound and a shaken, you'd have had to get an 8 to get rid of both of them. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Now it is last guy's turn. He is
unshaken.
He is unshaken. So he's going to attack Heggy, but he's going to get a -2 because he didn't get a raise on his shake.
He gets
That,
the gang up bonus.
He's got gang up bonus plus.
automatic
There's no never mind. You don't need a raise though to like after unshaken to do not get any penalties. You just unshake when you unshake.
I thought no, the attack.
It's a change
takes-
from the rules got changed. There's a clarification on. Oh wait, no, never mind. If you're assigning a -2 penalty for
that's
some
the
reason.
multi-action.
Just-
That's the multi-action.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm. I was thinking of like you were going. You'd mentioned me earlier. You were used to the old.
Yeah, they
Where-
changed the old way completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing about having a crappy parry, right? They can still hit you with a 4.
Why
Yep.
is it getting that bonus and bonus +2? Shouldn't it be 1 because the other guy's shaking?
It should be. You're right. And I don't know why I didn't apply that. So that would be a 3 only, and I'm pretty sure your parry is over 3.
Yeah, my parry's a 6.
I don't know why that hit you, but whatever. All right, we're not going to do that. All right, so the Raider up here, the last remaining Raider, he is going to turn to attack. He's still
Is he
actually still been
finally-
attacking Uldred the entire time.
That you right now you're on the one that's up in the
Yeah,
corner.
the one in the
I keep
corner
doing
that's
that, dang
scared.
it. I'm just gonna take him off the map. He's flipped out. He's gone.
He jumped off the edge.
And he's a blubbering pile of mess. He's full of saliva. He's just got saliva all over him. He just cowering in the corner going.
So that fear spell really worked really well
Really
on
did a
him.
damn good job. It speeds up
Yep.
the game because we're pushing really late here in the game. All right, okay.
Yeah.
So nope on that. Uldred, John, what do you do?
All right. Second verse, same as the first. We're gonna hit that Troll Raider.
I
And
remember offering us saying that we were gonna aim for a 2.5 hour game.
yep. And it wound up running over a bit.
Way out.
Well, it's been 2.5 hours now.
So just now?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't go as far over as I thought.
Yeah, because it's
It's
one
been-
thing we started
It
at 11.
started at
Well, actually,
it
just
started at 9. It started at 9.
9. I
So
thought we started at
It's been
11.
going
I'm-
three
I'm
three
so
hours and 30 minutes.
That's what I thought.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
so-
all right.
I'm so used to getting home so much later than 9.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's
Of course, we
Do
did.
this now.
We did spend some time doing things we wouldn't normally
Plus-
do if it wasn't a stream.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
you got two people who really.
So
don't
I
know
believe
anything
that's a
about
raise
it.
here.
Oh
That
yeah.
is a raise,
Yep.
man. Kill that dang
That's
thing,
right.
please. Kill
And
that.
let's hopefully, fingers crossed, mugga.
Come on.
Let's see their damage explode. There you
There.
go. Explosion.
Oh,
Look at
and he's
that.
only
That's
Oh,
what
shaking.
you
it
just
does.
shaked him.
That's
Oh
all right.
my god, he's just making us funny. They're tough as hell. All right. Gunnar, what do you do?
Okay, I was gonna do my sweep. So how do I do that? Target both of those with
Okay,
target
so yeah, you just
adjacent.
target them both on the map like you normally would, and then
Okay.
you'll put a -2 in the modifier star down there, -2,
Okay. let's see.
and you'll just roll fighting in the.
And it'll apply against both of them.
Look in the chat log, and it will automatically apply to both.
Okay.
Look at that, and you aced one. Look at that,
Ah, cool.
nice.
It just roll damage.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Nice.
Nice.
Handed
The
him.
other one.
Do I roll again or does it?
No, you're good.
No.
Oh, okay.
Now one is outright killed, and the other one is shaken.
Ah, cool. Ah!
I'm gonna say you just decapitated that one, just right.
Oh, to die a glorious battle.
Nice. All right, Rolf is just gonna keep. He's trying to get. He's gonna focus fire on. I know it's a long shot in hell, but he's gonna focus
Jarlson.
fire on trying to get rid of the Jarl, because that's
Yep.
hmm
so.
That's what I was trying to do.
Well, that's why I was trying to help you with it, but
Yeah, I know. You ended up hurting me, but oh well. Did a
The
miss?
Jarl, yes, is wildly. All right, so the Jarl is going to attack Hegi, and
I'm
now
sorry.
he's wielding a great axe, fellas. Great axe.
I'm sorry.
This could go
Well,
bad.
I have no choice but to take it. I have no bending
No,
left. I can't take anymore.
There we go. Let's see. Oh, that was an ace. Oh my gosh. All right.
He's getting a +2 again.
Yep.
Okay. Well, even with a 10, I think that would. Let's see if it would be a race.
Well, he got a 13. That's a hit.
Oh, thank you. 13, 12. 12 would still be with a raise, so it
Yeah.
wouldn't affect anything. There we go.
It still hits.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh, I'm
You
dead.
have no beanies, so
Nope, I'm dead.
No bennies.
I'll let you describe your death to us if you want to.
Okay.
He's got a great axe.
The Jarl just guts me pretty much because I'm so shitting there shaking. Ah!
Okay, so this is what happens. So you got enemies all around you, but the one at your back is shaking, and you kind of you're trying to desperately avoid his great axe as it comes in at you, and you're pushing up against the guy shaking behind you, and you trip and fall, and then he just takes his great axe and just plunges it down right through your chest cavity.
And I say, "Aka!"
Okay, so actually, technically, incapacitate does not mean you're dead. So that's actually a whole other thing. So you can stick around.
I thought anything over
happens.
3. I thought anything over 3 wounds.
No, you
was
become
dead.
incapacitated. There's a roll, a vigor roll, a final vigor roll that decides whether you
Oh, okay.
stabilize, whether you bleed,
All right.
start bleeding out, or whether you just flat out die. So
Is the Jarl moving?
the Jarl is going to step over your body.
Speaking of which, as a side note, this would probably be a good opportunity to release Roth and let Tabo
Yes,
take
let him
over
play
in the
that.
meantime.
Thank you. Let him stick
There
around.
you go.
For sure. That's an awesome idea. Thank you. All right, so that's what we're going to do.
That cool with you, Tabo?
That's fine. I'm better with a ranged character, anyways.
Well, I guess you can claim Heggie too. I unclaimed it for you, but claim Heggie too. Claim the vote. There you go. All right. Well, there you go. Now you get to play Rolf.
Oh, and I got Rolf in chores. Oh, and the Jarl walked into nice position.
Yes. Easy strike. No penalties for range there. No cover. Look at that. Rolled that 10.
That raise.
That is a hit with a raise. For some reason, it didn't apply the raise bonus. Okay, so in this case, for some reason, it didn't apply the raise bonus. I don't know why. But what you'll do is you'll manually. You see by the.
He didn't have him
modifier
targeted.
score? Okay,
I got him targeted.
but if you, it doesn't matter. Let's get a chance to learn the system in the overlay. So
Yep.
the modifier star down there, if you see that symbol, that D6 beside it, that says plus damage, click that and it becomes highlighted. And then now roll your damage. It'll automatically add it. There you go. Sweet. Shaken.
Jarl was
So you take an
shaking.
arrow
Nice.
and plunge it into his armor. It hits him enough force that he's staggered and slams up against the back of that wall there in the cavern. Good job. Heggie. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the roll every turn.
Yep, it did it
Oh, no, it was
automatically.
Status shake. No, it went to Thor.
I skipped. Well, I
Check
ended my
something here.
turn
Let me check
and
something
it
here.
skipped her turn.
Let me check something, see if something's on here.
It did it
there's
automatically.
rolls, auto roll. Incapacitation is off. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Well, it didn't do it. Well, we'll test out bleeding, and I'll do that in a later video. Or a later tutorial. We'll do that right next time. Sound good, Balfrin?
Sounds
I
good.
want to slow things down to do that. Alright. So Thorkelson and the House Guards. Alright. So they are going to... Man, what do they do? Man, Hakon is right there in the front, man. They are going to... That one is unshaken.
Yeah, he just became unshaken.
He's going to move his move, which is that far in.
Did
And
that one roll
is-
to be unshaken? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it did it
I
automatically.
see. Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
All that's automatic for the DM side.
And the house guard number 5 will start making his way that way with his move. And I'm trying to decide if I want to have them dash in. I think I want to have them dash in. They can move the rest of the way. Use their move. So they use their move, and then they also use their action to use their running dice to get up in front of you guys. But that is their entire turn. The Jarl removes his shaking condition, and he's going to move up here and he's going to attack Hakon at a -2. Oh my!
Oh my.
You got a nice
All those
raise.
spellcasters just getting hacked down. Just getting
Mhm.
hacked.
I did my job. I restrained a whole bunch of them for a while.
You did. You saved everybody probably. Look at that.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm still alive, and I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna soak again.
Yeah, you got plenty of bennies. Didn't roll high enough.
Nope.
You can use a benny to re-roll the soak.
He sold
Or, you
one
know,
of them, didn't he?
You can also just hit the soak thing again to, soak again. Same
Yeah, it's the
effect.
Same thing, yeah.
Well, he's at 1 wound down. He sold one of them, didn't he?
No, I don't think so. No. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he soaked one down. Yes, you soaked one wound down. You want to try to get more?
No, that's fine.
All right. Hakon, your action.
Yep.
Roll spirit
So-
for me. See if you come out of shaken. So you can set it on the GM side, and I probably should have before this game, but you can set it to where it automatically rolls players and GMs. Instead of being PC,
Yep.
it's real shaken and vigors. So,
All right, so
You're
I'll
still
use
shaking.
it. I'll use a
Incapacitated,
Benny
right.
to re-roll that.
there you go.
There we go.
So now you got to raise. You'll take no penalties for multi-action penalties, so you can do an action right now, no penalty.
Okay, so I will use my last 2 power points to try to bolt the Jarl.
The Jarl, nice. Okay, sweet.
So yeah, so he chops down at me with his great axe, and I do that same kind of thing, but only half of the wound kind of recovers this time. My other arm raises up, and the fire comes out.
Hakon, before you do anything, remember, pull off your shaken status.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's going to assess a penalty against you.
Yep.
There you
Got
go.
And that hits.
There you go. All right, that is a hit. Good job. All right, so
And this is also a good time to point out when you do a ranged attack in melee range, it goes against their parry because at that point, it's not that you're parrying the bullet, it's that you remember how you've said you've pulled your hand out and twiddled it? Well, he has a chance of taking a sword to slap your hand aside.
Okay.
Or if you were using like a pistol in a modern setting, that's someone sitting there and like knocking the pistol away, you know, when they're when he sees someone trying to like shoot him.
it's a catch.
So like, so the I come up and I've got that wound on my shoulder, and that I kind of like mimic that on him, and this little fire laser that comes out of me gives him that wound up his like
cool.
mirroring shoulder. And I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna kind of stay here with that.
Very cool. Very cool. And he is shaken. But if just to let you know though, if you did want to move at this point, he can't attack you as you leave.
No,
one
but
troll
the
warrior
other
can.
one.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know
Yeah.
that shaken makes it where you cannot attack people when they leave. So
Okay, so if that's the case, then I will take that one off shot and come to run over here.
yeah. Okay, you take one from that guy, and we'll see how that goes.
Are you sure you want to leave Brunhilde undefended?
You
Yeah.
got her. I have faith in you.
Yeah, but the Jarl can walk up and slap and grab him.
Yep.
Ah,
All right, before you do it,
okay, hold on.
are you doing it or not?
No, do you know what? I always go with what I originally said, so I'm just gonna stay here because that's what I had originally
okay.
said. I because I wanted to keep her there, and yeah, no, I'll stay there.
You're staying
That you would have had to add a further penalty because you can't move that far
That's
since
true.
you're
That's
lame.
true. You're right.
Actually,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, one
Yeah.
that's 4 squares. One,
that is
2,
4,
3,
yep.
4.
so you could have,
He
but
said he was going by what he had rolled.
Yeah, no, I'll go by with what I originally said.
All
Yep.
right, Aldrin John, what do you do?
all right. So I will. Here's the other reason you want to stay in there because
Yeah, Gango bonus for you for Jarl.
not just that, but stick around. I whisper at the shaken Jarl. You know, this is the axe I had in your mom.
Oh, oh shit! Well, actually, in this case, guys, y'all are laughing, but it's actually true. In his background, Jarl Thorkelsson's mom. So like that really pisses off
That
you,
really pisses off
Jarl
Jarl.
Thorkelson, and it sounds like
Yep.
a dirty joke at the same time. All right, roll it.
Join your mother on my axe blade.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
And-
cool actually, because if you guys think about it, if y'all want to play this again, when you play each different character, y'all each have different backgrounds. So
Yep.
role playing wise.
So yeah, that's a hit.
Very
And
cool. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see the damage explode. Damn it.
that's
Just
all right. It's
wondering.
another wound though.
Another wound.
But the DM will soak it up with his other bennies.
Possibly.
I thought about it, but at the same time, I'm just like, let's let the game end. So
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
And
All right,
I end my turn.
Gunnar.
Yeah,
What do you
I
do?
couldn't
You
do a
have-
sweep. Yeah, I couldn't do a sweep attack without hitting Aldred, right? If I use the
think you
sweep
can.
attack.
I think it's just
Yeah,
for
you
enemies. You make attacks at enemies.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yep.
think you're good.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do a sweep attack. Wait, I've already targeted him and him. And
No,
this-
it says sweep says make a single fighting attack applied against all currently adjacent targets at a -2 penalty, friends and foes alike.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
was thinking. That's why I asked. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna attack the one in front of me.
Alrighty. Ah, that's nice. You would have really
Yep.
that. You would have really
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh,
damn.
that's
18. I slash that. Another head comes
Another
off.
decapitation.
You and I look at Jarl and I say, "You're next, Jarl."
So are you going to move over behind the Jarl now?
Let's see. I just say that. Let's see. I guess
Yeah.
no. I can't really move without opportunity attack.
There are no opportunity attacks. You're moving in the same.
You're exactly.
area.
You're staying within the reach of everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
You're
move behind
standing
him then. Yeah. I'll move there. Okay, that's cool.
Think about your movements.
Yep.
Because this game is a strategic game.
It's
Yeah,
a lot more
I just didn't
tactical.
know. I just didn't know I could move there without opportunity attack. I guess it's within
Yeah.
range of the
One
melee.
of the things I like
keeper.
about
If
this
you would have
game
moved
is
something
that-
like this, then you would have
Oh,
moved.
yeah.
One of the things I
Okay.
like about this game is that even though it can be amazingly tactical, it can also be simple with theater of the mind.
Yep.
So
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, the only reason my guy thought about moving is because he's not a frontline fighter, right? That's
Oh, yeah.
more why.
Aldred John, what do you do?
And you got the
It's a
Joker.
+2. Damn,
Oh,
you had the
I
Joker.
know.
Oh my god, I just realized you had the Joker. Holy shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna aim for that head.
Too bad you weren't like get the drop or anything with Assassin.
I know. Assassin would have. That's what I was kind of hoping for. Ultimately, is that they would have pulled everyone down instead of fearing them into like crazy stuff. I was hoping you'd get them there.
You had the chance
I get
to ambush
Brunhilde.
the one around Brunhilde though and stuff. You had the chance.
Yeah,
It's like, why
the-
didn't you take it?
I was thinking about that, but then it's like, you know what? Key is, since I'm the house Carl, I have to sit there and make sure C, has a chance of getting out safely. But I'm also got the bloodthirsty hindrance, so I got to finish off the Jarl. We got a little score.
All right, do it.
Yeah, blood of me, and all right. So let's
All this
see.
talking, you
Shot
got
at the
all that.
head. I'm doing a called shot at the head. I don't remember the penalty.
All right. I
Like it
believe it's
matters.
-4.
Yeah.
So it's a -2 with the Joker.
It'll automatically apply the.
Yep.
Exactly. So -4. All right. And I got a couple bennies. It's worth it.
hmm
All right. You know what? We're
Ben,
gonna benny that. And let's try that again.
And this game does have called shots built into the system, so.
okay.
Do you have the cheat sheet for all those?
I think you can find it online actually. Well, test drive PDF.
Going one more or what?
Oh, damn it! That was the you know what? I think the call shot was probably the over the top, but
You You already declared it. What are you gonna do?
Yep, I did. So
Don't waste the Joker, man.
I know.
Get
I
Throw another
know.
penny out
Spend
there.
that penny. Don't be stingy. Spend it.
You're right. It's also living up to my bloodthirsty hindrance, so because we need blood. Do it.
I mean, you
See,
did.
There it
say that.
is.
There you go. Okay,
Uh,
so called shot to the head gives +4 to damage. So you're gonna get +2 from the Joker and a +4 from the called shot. So that's a +6 on it.
Yep.
It won't automatically apply the +4.
I added
Yeah,
the
man.
+4 into the modifier, so
Go ahead, do it. There you go.
bam.
He already had 1, so that is incapacitation.
Oh,
I'm gonna rule
he had
that
2.
as dead.
I believe he had 2 already.
He had 2 wounds already.
Yep.
I wounded him
So,
twice.
yeah. So why don't you describe that for us? Since it's the oral.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to.
Smiling, I remind him, say hi to your mom.
All right.
And just bury the
Yeah,
axe right
hella.
between his eyes.
Very cool. Very cool. They
And,
both kind of like just kind of pop just a little bit out when your axe goes in, and then he just collapses backwards, lifelessly. All right. Very cool.
there we go.
Now, so these two in the back, I know it's not their action yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and resolve them. Their thing. They're gonna try to get free, and if they get free,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna have them run like a little whiny. Nope. Yeah, they do get free. Yeah, that's right. That's not enough. I don't know why I said nope. So the two back here, they get free. They're just gonna flee. They see the Earl dead. They're gone. So 2 and 3 are gone. All right, and the others are going to attack. This is going to attack Hakon, man.
Yep, that's fine. I only have 1 wound anyway, so
You're
Oh,
unarmed.
unarmed.
Yep, because that does happen.
Missed.
Yeah.
There is 3 of you focused down these 2 enemies, and I'm going to end the scene because it's just at this point it's not.
So I take
Necessary.
my staff because I have no more PowerPoint, and as this guy tries to smash at me, I just like smash down on his top of his head and crush his spine.
Very cool. Very sweet.
Rolf
You
just
hear a
runs
crack
in,
as his skull collapses.
parkours off that dude's dead, dying head, and then pulls out an arrow and stabs the other dude in the eye.
Cool. Very
Nice.
cool. Nice. All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. So you've swept up, cleaned up the enemies, and Brynhild is back under your protection. So, good job, guys. And for the sake of the adventure, we're going to wrap here. You guys have successfully retrieved her. And
1 death.
and you learned that Jarl Thorkelson was behind it all. It wasn't trolls to begin with. And at that point, it's actually a good time to say maybe you guys noticed that there are these boots in the room against one of the corners of the wall that are rather large, made to mimic the steps of a troll. And they essentially planned this whole thing from the beginning. So we're going to wrap there with the stream, and I'm going to stop the stream, and we can
Okay.
go from there.